we're doing a beginner game. For it is Ara's very first game. Ara,
Hooray.
say hello to everyone at home.
Howdy.
So, Ara's played a lot of AOS, is that right?
Yep.
And he's played many, many armies, correct?
A lot of armies, yeah.
Like, all of them?
I wish, yeah. Not death, never death.
Never death. All right, well, today we're going to try and show Ara the beauty, the majesty, the wonderfulness, the absolute lunacy that is Warhammer 40k. So we're just going to try and run him through a game of 40k. So we'll be using the format put out by the Grand Tournament 2020 game package, which looks like this. Some of you have it at home. But yeah, so today we're brought here today by Grimforge Studios, who has been so kind in supplying the lights, the power, the table, the terrain, the cameras, and lovely Ara and myself.
Hooray.
Along with our painting sponsor, Army Painter Studios, which I believe they painted all of our terrain here. No, that's wrong. They've painted these beautiful sea canisters, but for space. He was on yesterday. So yeah, support them and support Grimforge because they're great. So we'll just get right into starting our very first game of 40k. So the first thing you need is an army, which we both have here, but we'll get into that a bit later. Next thing you need is you need to select battle size. You and an opponent need to agree on a points limit. So for today, for Ara's very first game, we have decided to go at 1,000 points. Some people might say 500 is better. Some people say 1,000 is better. And other people who are absolutely insane say 2,000 is where you need to start. It doesn't matter, just so long as you get started. So we've selected our battle size. Number 1, 1,000 points, which makes this an incursion kind of thing, kind of mission. Number 2, we need to muster our armies. So Ara and I have both mustered our armies. Starting with mine, I'll just tell it to you guys at home so you guys aren't like wondering what the hell's going on. So I've started with a Primaris Chaplain, who I've made my warlord. I've given him Benediction of Fury for his relic, which makes his beat stick much more beady. I've given him Imperium Sword as his warlord trait, which makes him even more of a beat stick. And then I gave him Mantra of Strength for his chaplain power, which makes him even more of a beat stick. So you could probably guess kind of a theme with him. Moving on to the other HQ, we have my Psyker, my Primaris Psyker, who I've given Psychic Fortress, just kind of give him a nice 5-up bubble to people around, 5-up invulnerable bubble. Then I've got my troops. I've got my 5-man tactical squad with a Power Sword, Combi Plaz on the Sergeant, and I've given another guy in there a plasma gun. Going on, we've got an Intercessor squad, 5 men with auto bolt rifles, chainsword on the Sergeant, and a grenade launcher. We then have a 5-man squad of infiltrators because they're cool. And then moving on to the elites. Oh my god, I'm running out of breath. So
Breathe, Habibi,
so
breathe,
unfit.
breathe.
I'm sorry, people at home.
I breathe heavy.
This pandemic has... Whoa! This pandemic has not been kind to my waistline. Moving on to the elites. I've got a Dreadnought. I've got Big Red. He's coming in with the Assault Cannon and the Heavy Flamer and the hand that goes smush. I've given him March of the Ancients for that extra attack, but I didn't spend any other kind of stratagems on warlord traits. I just wanted to make him a character, give him an extra attack, because, you know, it's befitting his position, really. Then we move on to my 5-man Vanguard Vet squad. 4 of the guys have double lightning claws, and the Sergeant has a Storm Shield with a Relic Blade, because he's just so cool. And then for my heavy support slot, I've got a squad of 3 Eliminators with their bolt sniper rifles. And lastly, I've got a Razorback with the double las cannons. You might have seen them in my first game. That's my list. That brings me up to 1998. Ara, can you do any better?
Well, I'm running a Salamanders list led by Captain Adrax Agatone as my warlord. Following that, I've got a Primaris lieutenant with the Neo-Volkite pistol and the storm shield and the sword. That's Lieutenant Sholta.
Neato model.
Backing all that up, I have two groups of intercessors. They're both identical. Led by sergeants that have hand flamers and thunder hammers. Each unit has one intercessor with a grenade launcher. I also have a unit of 3 aggressors with the flamers, flamestorm gauntlets. And then finally bringing up the heavy artillery is the Redemptor Dreadnought with the macro plasma incinerator and the Icarus rocket pods and storm bolters. And the crushy hand.
The crushy hand.
And that there is Brother Ancient Durang. And yes, I actually have named each and every one of my models.
This guy's insane. He's named every single one.
Yep.
Like,
Pick an intercessor. I've got him named.
yeah. All right, well, that's our lists. That is step 2 out of starting your games. So, before we let me start over. Now we determine the mission. Once me and an opponent, or Ara and his opponent, have met, they can now show up to the table and roll for missions. We rolled prior to this, just to set it up nice. This way we'd have objectives and all that kind of stuff just ready to go. So we rolled up 23 for the incursion mission set, which is push forward, or forward push. So, yep, we've done that. We both agree. That's great. Sweet. We're moving on. Now we read the mission briefing, which is step 4, which we are going to be doing take and hold. And, ooh, there's also mission rules for this one, which makes it funky. Any advance rolls of less than 3 for the first battle round count as 3. Now that's pretty handy. Moving on, the primary objective is take and hold. Hold 1, hold 2, hold more. Each one will grab you 5 points at the start of your command phase. Start a second turn. And I believe that is it for the mission brief. Now we place objective markers as step 5. Bang, 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 bang. Look at us go. We're so quick. Now, we create the battlefield. So we haven't created the battlefield yet. We wanted to do that as we go along. So starting, we'll just roll off for this. We'll just see who places down the first one. I rolled a 2, you rolled a 5. So Ara will place the first one.
I'm going to set a set of barrels right there.
Set of barrels right there. Ooh. Now, these will be barricades for the purposes of stuff. So barrels will be barricades. You'll see as we go along. We'll just kind of name it as we go along. So we got this guy right here, a nice set of ruins. I like to think it's going to go right about here. Bam. Just boom, right there. Dynamic. Over to you, Ara.
I'm going to put down another set of barrels.
All right.
And they're going to go right there.
Ooh.
Are there rules on how close terrain can be?
There aren't, if I recall. You can't have objectives on the second floor of buildings, typically speaking. It always has to be on the ground level. This way, anything can try and drive onto it. A couple years ago, there were some other people just doing wonky stuff. So typically, when you're setting up like terrain and stuff, you kind of want to have it mirrored unless you're doing like a crazy kind of for fluff kind of game. Actually, we'll just rotate that around, give you some sight lines. So it'll be kind of preset if you want to place the next one. Generally, you want your kind of table pretty busy. It just creates a nice dynamic feel to it. When you go to like a tournament, most of the tables will be preset, and they'll be kind of symmetrical. And the more you play, the more you'll be like, oh, I understand how this terrain is supposed to go. Bang. big sea container right in the middle. Ooh, we'll, just so you can get around stuff, we'll just move that up there. This way you can get in, get out. So, like, the more you play, the more you'll kind of figure it out. You'll see it. For us in this game, we just wanted to kind of show you, like, oh, this is how you should be setting it up. Or maybe you want to set it up a little more. Oh, ooh, we've got some verticality. We got a nice catwalk over here. That's rad. I love this. I love this game. And you know what? We'll just set this guy up back here. And now we're at the point where we're kind of getting low on the terrain and stuff. I like adding like little bits of stuff here and there, everywhere. And I think that is.
You got one more piece.
Oh yes, just to make it a little bit symmetrical, I'm gonna throw this guy right here. So now we need to, preferably before we go through and we put everything down, we'll both agree on what everything is. So in the rule book, there's a section called cover. We'll treat these as containers. Just, they have a set of rules in the back of the book. It's just super easy if you can just be like, yep, these are these. And you can add and subtract keywords so long as both you and your opponent agree and continue that as you go along. The barrels, as you can see around here, we'll treat them as little barricades. So infantry can get behind and like get in, try and like take cover. It means they'll have like a -1 to hit, which makes them a little bit more durable. And then the obviously bombed out buildings we'll treat as ruins. And we'll just treat this catwalk as, we'll just treat it like a catwalk. No benefit to cover. You just get like a nice sight line.
Yep.
So if you get
no
like,
fall damage if you're not playing Necromunda.
oh, there'd be plenty of fall damage if you're playing Necromunda. So now that we've established a beautiful board, we would move on to the secondaries. But today, because it's our very first game, we're not going to do secondaries. We'll, whoever kills the most will get 45 points. Or if you kill the entire army, you get 45 points. We'll figure it out. It doesn't really matter because it's our first game. And today is about learning. And we'll be doing the primary because that's important, but we need to get reps. We need to get reps. We need to go through the command phase, the movement phase, all those phases. So for the interest of it being Ara's first game, I will be the attacker. And I know some of you at home might be like, oh, that Thomas, he's going through and he's going to go and just curb stomp Ara. No. We don't do that here. I don't beat anyone that quickly. It's more to show Ara, because he's got a lot of questions about how the phases and what happens in each phases. He wants to know how the structure of the game works. He wants to see how each phase is done. And we'll go through each and every single one and just show you what's going on. So now, starting with the defender, right here, at step number 9, you get to choose your deployment zone, good sir.
Well, since I'm on this side of the table, I'm going to choose this side.
Good man. If he chose this side, I'd be very upset. So now moving on to step 10, we have to declare reserves and transports. Now, you and your opponent both secretly determine what's going in, what's going onto the battlefield, what's staying in strategic reserve, what's using their rules to like deep strike in, so to say, or appear from reserves. So for mine, because I already know what I'm doing, I'm going to put my tactical squad inside of my Razorback. And I'm going to have my Vanguard Vet squad with jetpacks go in the deepest of striking. I believe they have a specific rule for it, but for those at home who have played the game before, it's a deep strike-esque rule. It's kind of like a strategic reserve. I'll tell you what it is after I do the very Rick and Morty kind of stalling technique and search for more air, because holy damn, I haven't talked this much in a long time. And some of you at home might tell me to shut up. I don't blame you. So their specific rule for the Vanguard vets is death from above. And I'll be using that to deploy them. Ara, do you have any kind of strategic reserve, deep strikey kind of rules?
Nope.
Perfect. Super easy. Just super duper neato. Moving on. Now we deploy our armies. Beginning with, and I looked this up, the Defender. Who's this boy?
All right.
So now we start off one at a time, deploying units. So, Ara, pick a unit.
I'm going to start off with my lieutenant.
All right.
Lieutenant Sholta is going to stand right here.
Ooh. You might want to move him back just a little bit
Why is that?
because of the character keyword.
Oh.
Yes.
Tell me about the character keyword.
So characters have a keyword, the character keyword, and it allows them to be not shot off the table. So
Would I want to have him behind a unit of intercessors then?
you'd
Unit of
want to
troops?
have him just have one intercessor like in front of him,
Okay.
and him to be within 3 inches of a unit that has 3 or more models.
Okay. So I'll hang him back because I'm going to deploy my intercessors afterwards.
Beautiful. So, me being me, I'm going to start with my Razorback on the table right there with my boys inside. And I'll just put this guy right on top to denote that they're all inside.
Cool.
And that's them.
I'm going to follow up with the unit of intercessors led by Sergeant Dakir.
All right. And at this point, he would deploy the entire unit. Or if you wanted to combat squad them, which is a rule in the Space Marine book, I believe he would declare that now. But if he doesn't want to do that, he can do that later. So he would deploy all 10, and I would look and try and choose the next model that I want to put down. And I think I know what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to take a Big Red, the mighty Dreadnought, and put him next to this. Now, because he has the character keyword, and he is below 9 wounds, and that's a very critical thing, or 9 wounds and below, he is now protected by this vehicle, because that vehicle is a vehicle with, I believe it's 5 or more wounds that doesn't have the character keyword. So this Dreadnought would not be able to protect another character. Whereas, because I've given them the character keyword, that kind of renders that kind of moot. So, over to you.
So next is Brother Ancient Dirang, and he's going to hang out right there.
Oh dear, we got a big boy coming in. So now I'm going to deploy my eliminators here, and they have a deployment thing that allows them to deploy outside of the normal deployment zone, called concealed positions. So this would essentially let them deploy on the catwalk, which I will do now. So I'm going to put them up at the catwalk because that looks rad. Looks so cool. And we're going to have the sergeant right in the middle. Because we're going to try and put down that big old mean dreadnought. And
So-
that's me.
If I deploy in a building,
Yes,
can I get cover from that building?
you would get cover from that building.
So if I deploy, say, for example, a unit of aggressors,
Yes.
but maybe in this case I'll do my lieutenant or my
Your other
my
intercessors.
So
yeah,
Sergeant Sugan's
You'd have to deploy within your deployment zone.
So Sergeant Sugan is going to hang out back here
With his,
with his
mighty squad of 10.
mighty squad of 10.
Beautiful.
Is there a
Oh, we can just take that out.
cohesion rule with?
There is
Deployment?
a cohesion rule. So every time you put down a unit, that unit has to remain within coherency. And coherency is if you have, I believe it's less than 6 models, you only need to be within 2 inches of one other model. If you're more than 6, or 6 or more, you have to be within 2 models. You have to be within 2 inches of 2 other models. So it
And it-
kind of so like these guys right here, these eliminators,
They can be spaced out.
I could deploy them like that. But if there was more than 6, and let's say there was more back here, each one would have to have like a buddy within 2 inches, an
Okay.
extra buddy, because if I can't hold the hands of 2 of my homies, and there's 6 of us,
Then what is life
I
worth?
just die.
Okay, because in AOS it's 1 inch.
Yeah, 40k is a bit more spaced out. I'm not entirely sure why they went with that design choice. I think it's because they want to do more of a shooting game as opposed to a close combat game, which they still want to do a lot of close combat. Like this is the close combat edition of Ninth. But yeah, so moving on, I believe it is my deployment. So
It is.
I'm going to take my beat stick, my mighty chaplain, and I'm going to throw him right behind this vehicle because he's a coward. Over to you.
Following that, I'm going to have Sergeant Amphil's aggressor squad hanging out back over here.
Oh, you're going to try and take that from me, eh? Oh, and a useful thing for everyone at home. You can measure at any point in time in the game. So I look at these guys, and I'm like, they can move 5 inches. They can advance. The range on their guns is also an extra 5 inches. So if I put them at if I put someone at like 17 and a half, I know for certain that they won't be able to just walk and get me. However, this mission, they can advance and still get me. So because they have flamers, that whole advance thing doesn't really affect them. And we'll get into that as we get into the shooting phase. So I've put down these guys. These guys also have a concealed deployment kind of rule, which allows them to deploy outside of their deployment zone. And that's them. And you just have one more drop. Agrax Agatone.
Captain Adrax Agatone,
Oh, he's going there.
chapter master of the Salamanders.
Ooh. We got some spooky boys. And we're going to throw these intercessors here. Oh, I forgot to mention, my intercessors have auto bolt rifles. And I believe all of yours do too.
Everyone?
Every single one. So that's 3 shots at assault. And we'll go through that later. Now we go back over to him, but he doesn't have anything. So I just start throwing down stuff. And that's it for me. So now that we've deployed our armies, we move on to the next step. Now, if you got a GT 2020 at home, you'll see that the next step is determined first turn. However, with the last FAQ released, I believe about a month ago or so, they crammed all the determined first turn and who's attacker and defender all into one. So the attacker always goes first and the defender always goes second, which is really nice. It cleans up quite a few things. So now we would resolve pre-game abilities. So like at this point in time, if you had like redeployment strats, for example, the Ultramarines have one where they can redeploy 3 units. You would play that now. But sadly, we don't have any of that shenanigans. So now we begin the battle. Starting at the very, very top with the command phase and my command phase. So originally I started off with 5 command points. At the very beginning of your command phase, you get 1 more. This bumps me up to 6 command points. So looking at my army, I would like a source of like to wound rolls of 1, that ability to reroll. Thankfully, in the Space Marine Codex, there's something called Wisdom of the Ancients. So I'm going to spend 1 CP, and this is how stratagems work. You select a stratagem based on the phase that they act in. Ooh, more rings. So we'd play Wisdom of the Ancients on our Dreadnought right here, our big red. So that would bring me down to 5 command points. I would then look at the stratagem, which just gotta open this tome. Hey, and look, we're here. Look at that. Shucks. Wisdom of the Ancients. Use the stratagem in the command phase. Select 1 Adeptus Astartes Dreadnought model from your army, excluding Wolfen and Death Company. Until the start of your next command phase, that model gains either Rites of Battle ability, which is the captain ability, or the Tactical Precision, which is the lieutenant ability. So I'm going to select the lieutenant ability for my dreadnought. Just kind of give him a source of reroll ones. Now that I've spent that 1 CP, I'm going to move on to the rest of my command phase, which I have one more thing to do, and that is the litanies for my chaplain. So, rolling up. So his litanies go off on a 3+. So, rolling a dice. I get a 6. His litanies goes off. And that litany is Mantra of Strength. So right now, he's just juiced. He is so juiced. And he's ready to fight. Now, at the end of my command phase, I'm finished. Now we move on to the movement phase, our second phase. So this is where you would move your stuff. So with these guys, I kind of want to, do I want to move block them? I don't know. We're not really going to go into that high level kind of stuff just yet. So these guys are fine for now, but we're just going to move them up. These guys move 6 inches. Boop, boop, boop. These these intercessors here will advance. And, oh, sorry, let me back up a bit. There are 4 different kinds of movement. You have stationary, which means you didn't move a single model. They stayed entirely like there. They just stopped. They didn't move. You have your normal move, which is anywhere from more than 0 to the upper limit of the movement characteristic on your data sheet. You have an advance move, which is you roll a d6 or you use their advance kind of characteristic. So, and then the final one, the fallback, which only happens when you're engaged or within engagement range of an enemy model. So we've done a normal move for these guys. We're going to advance with my intercessors here. We get a 4, so that means I would take the result of the dice and add it to the movement characteristic. So because they move 6, I rolled a 4. That's a big whopping. Pulls out calculator. 10. Hey! So these guys are going to just jump over this thing, and they're going to kind of take the center of the field. Boop. And they're going to go right about there. Next thing, I'm going to move my vehicle and just bring it over here. So this Razorback moves 12. It is a vehicle. I moved it a little bit too much. There we go. And for the purposes of education, I'm going to say I moved these guys just slightly. Just to get like a, Actually, let's put pressure on one dude. We're going to move these guys over here. These guys move 6 base. So we've got plenty of room there. The next guy is going to be this Dreadnought. He's going to tuck in over there. Yeah. The Chaplain will advance. He gets the big fat 6. He's just going to go right behind this vehicle right here. Just within 3. And the Psyker is also going to move. He gets a big 8. So that puts him right there. It's kind of a bad spot. He's kind of out of that character protection kind of thing. But that's all right. Now we move on to the psychic phase. Sadly, I have to do psychic things. So, in some armies, you'll have psychers. They will cast psychic powers, ironically enough. So, all psychers know smite. Every single one knows smite. Has a warp charge of 5, range of 18. When you successfully cast it, causes D3 mortal wounds. We're not going to do that today. We're going to cast Psychic Fortress, which goes off on, I believe, 7. If I'm right. Psychic Fortress. No, it's 6. It's even better. So we cast it. Roll 2d6. Unless stated otherwise, we get an 8. The Psychic test is passed. That means now the effects of Psychic Fortress are now enabled. So everyone now within 6 inches gets a 5-up invulnerable save to everything. So these guys, everyone, kind of on the ground, which is fine. Perfect. Beautiful. And when you pick a Psyker, and you start casting psychic powers, you have to finish casting everything you have there. So if you have like two powers that you can cast on every single model, you pick one, do both. You can't jump back, because that just means that psyker did that one power, and then he stopped. That's just what happens. So his other one is Might of Heroes. I think I forgot to say that earlier, but Might of Heroes, we'll cast it. It goes off on a 10. We'll put it on the chaplain there. Essentially just giving him an extra toughness, so he's toughness 5. Strength is now 5, which means if someone comes up and tries to hit him, he'll be punching back at like strength 1 billion. Some crap like that. We'll get back to it if it becomes relevant this turn. Now, when you're rolling your psychic tests, there are 2 ways that you could potentially fail. If you roll a double 1, or if you roll a double 6. Some psychers have different rules. We'll get into the weeds if those become relevant. But if you roll a double 1, you take D3 mortal wounds on the psyker, and then you move on. If the psyker is slain, I believe it is everyone within 6 inches also takes D3 mortal wounds, as the warp just rips open and tries to grab everyone and everything around it. And more importantly, if he fails on a double 6 and would technically pass, that power automatically fails, and everyone still dies. So that's the psychic phase. Moving on to the shooting phase. So we will start, and we'll start from here, work our way through the army. So we'll start with these guys. We'll shoot into the aggressors.
How dare you?
Generally, you'll want to pick like a unit. You'll want to pick what weapon they're going to use, and you're going to want to dictate what you're shooting at. So I'm going to pick these infiltrators right here, over by these barrels. They moved this turn. This will matter. And they're going to shoot at these aggressors right here. So each one has 1 shot. We do this all at the same time. So I'm going to roll in my little dice thing here. And we miss twice, leaving us with 3 hits. Because their bolt rifle auto wounds on, or their bolt gun auto wounds on 6s to wound, we get 1 wound automatically right there. And then we got 2 more hits, wounding him on 5s. Oh, I guess we're going to have to get into how toughness and strength works as well. So sadly, only 1 wound on him. So now he would roll straight across, as there is no AP on this gun. So he'd roll 1 dice. With the aggressor's 3-up save, if he makes anywhere past the 3-up, he's made it. And you rolled a
6.
Beautiful. They're too tough to die. So, moving on. You do this for every single one. Now, use your ballistic skill to determine when you hit. How do I figure out how I wound? Excellent question. You take your weapon strength. For example, these guys, strength 4. You figure out the toughness of your target. The aggressors, they're T5. That means they are 1 above, which means if you meet their toughness, you wound on a 4. If you exceed it, you'd wound them on a 3. But if their toughness exceeds your strength, you would wound them on a 5. And if it's a double, it goes a further dice roll, both up and down. So if these guys were, for example, toughness 8, and I had strength 4, I'd be wounding him on 6s. But conversely, if these guys were toughness 2, and my strength was still 4, I'd be wounding them on 2s. Rolls of 1 always fail. That means all the time. And that is unmodified rolls. So let's say, whatever, I roll something. I get a 2 and a couple 4s and a 1. Regardless of my modifiers, strats, whatever, that 1 fails. So, moving on. Now, because these guys advanced, normally that means they can't shoot anything. However, because they have assault weapons, they can shoot. So there's a bunch of different types of weapons. There are pistols, which is just a little pistol. You get your rapid fire, which iconically your bolters. You get your assault weapons, like your meltas, or in our example, our auto bolt rifles and flamers. Then you move on to heavy, which are your las cannons, your macroplas, your bolt sniper rifles. Each one of them have a different set of rules. So, for example, rapid fire. If you're within half range, you get an additional shot per weapon, or per type, or you get to essentially double it. So if you were rapid fire 2, and you're within half range of your target, let's say your max range is 24.
You're within 12.
You're exactly within 12. You would double it. So rapid fire 2 becomes 4 dice. If you're assault, whatever the number is the number. The only thing is, you get to shoot even if you advance. So the only issue is, you're now at a -1. That's it. That's not that bad. I like assault weapons. You get to move and shoot. Heavy, they're typically like your las cannons, your plasma cannons, all that kind of stuff. The only thing with those ones is if you're infantry and you move, you're at a -1. Additionally, if you're a vehicle, you can still shoot into combat, but it's at a -1. And pistols, you can either shoot your pistol or everything else. In addition, pistols are the only weapons that infantry can use, and everything else, aside from monsters and vehicles, to shoot into close combat. So, moving on with the turn, we're going to take these assault bolter boys. We get about 24 inches here, but we can see everyone here within 24, which means we get all our shots. So, you have to be able to see the thing that you're going to shoot at, and it also has to be within range. You can target things. You can only really target things if you can see it and be within range of it. That's the only time you can really target stuff. I'm not entirely certain about certain interactions, but if you have any questions, please leave them in the chat. So these guys are going to shoot. Because they ran up, they're at a -1. Doot, doot, doot. We're going to pick out all these misses. Bang, bang, bang. I don't expect to do any real damage here. I might hurt his dreadnought a bit, but I'm not really expecting too much. Now, on the wound roll, we've rolled a bunch of 1s. And now we're within the aura of our dreadnought. Now, these are the 2 wound rolls. We get to re-roll them. Hooray! We get a few. Huzzah! So that is 6 at no AP on these boys back here.
What's the strength of the weapon?
Oh, it was 4 to 5.
So that means I'm saving on a...
Oh, the toughness and strength doesn't really matter. It's only the AP that affects your armor saves.
Oh,
So,
my save is 3 then.
yeah, your save is 3. So it would remain 3, as I'm still AP 0, and you're not really within any kind of cover.
So I'm going to take 2.
So now we get to allocation of wounds. You can only allocate wounds to the same model until it dies. So if you start, let's say there was one model in here and I'm just like throwing my saves on it. You pick one, it takes saves until it dies. And that only really matters if you have like 1 storm shield in a squad or 2 storm shields in a squad.
Now, would that carry over? So if you did, say, for example, 4 wounds to me,
Yeah.
and you kill the model because he has 3 wounds, would that extra wound then carry over to the next model?
If it is a damage 1 weapon, absolutely. This is actually a really good question. So if I had 2 damage 2 weapons go through and hit his aggressors with 3 wounds, I'd hit him for the first one. That guy would get the full 2, and then the next one, he'd still get the full 2, but that extra wound gets lost.
Huh.
So, because, just because your buddy got shot and it really hurt him, doesn't mean that I died of sadness. That's a different phase.
Okay.
So, yeah, very good question.
It's very different in AOS because you just you count up all the wound numbers, and you just sort of knock off
Yeah, you just pick out
models based
yeah.
on the wound scores.
Now, mortal wounds do carry over because they are considered packets of 1 damage at a time. So, like, if I did 4 mortal wounds to that squad, he'd lose a guy, and then that last mortal wound
Would carry over.
would carry over to the next one. But because this isn't mortal wounds, it doesn't really carry over. So most armies you'll see a combination of 1, 2, and 3 damage weapons. And that's just to kind of get around that. Because you don't want to be wasting your 3 damage weapons on 1 wound idiots, right? So you go from there. So these guys have shot. These guys have shot. We'll go to our snipers. So the character keyword. These guys ignore the lookout sir rule, which is the whole kind of interaction around character keywords. So this allows them to ignore it. There are certain rules that just say that you can't shoot at a character. There's a bunch of bodyguards that do that. That will override these guys' ability because they can only ignore the lookout sir. They can't ignore bodyguards. So these guys have a 30, they got a big range. They got like 36 inches or something. I'm not going to look it up because even if it was 2 feet, no, actually, I'll look it up just for sake. If you're not sure what your rules are, look it up. Don't be like stupid confident and be like, oh yeah, I could totally do that. You just look like a moron.
How does line of sight work for these guys?
So you go by true line of sight until you hit like actual terrain rules. So like there's an obscuring rule set that would just say, oh, I'm over here. Let's say this was obscuring for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
You would not be able to see me until you touch the terrain piece. So aside from that, you always rely on, you still rely on true line of sight. So if I can see you, I can shoot you. So
potentially,
I'd pick these guys, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I could totally see you, your lieutenant. However, this guy back here could not.
Yeah.
So I'd pick a different target for that guy. So, moving back to this, because I don't know their range, and I should because I'm supposed to be a good player. Yeah, it's 36 inches. So, now we go through their weapons. We're going to shoot these guys. They're going to use their bolt sniper rifle. They're going to use the mortis round, and we're going to split fire them. So every unit can shoot at different targets based on how many models there are. So you can take these 2 guys, and I'm going to shoot them at the lieutenant, and I'm going to take this guy right here, and I'm going to shoot at your dreadnought, just to plink off wounds. So, oh, also, because it's my Devastator Doctrine, and I'm Iron Hands, I get to reroll once and ignore the penalty for moving and firing heavy weapons, which really, in their case, only applies to infantry, which is handy. So, these guys will be ignoring the -1 to hit. So these 2 are going to shoot at your lieutenant. Bang. We get 2 hits. And now, because they're mortis, oh no, I rolled a pair of 2s. At this point, I'd like to use one of the universal stratagems, the reroll stratagem, bringing me down to 4 command points. I'm going to reroll one of my 2s into a 3. Hooray! It wounds because I am a strength 5, and that lieutenant is toughness 4. So, if my good friend Ara here would like to make a save at -3
Okay.
on his lieutenant.
So the storm shield gives me +1 to save.
+1 to save and a 4-up invulnerable.
So I can save at a 2-up.
Normally you would be able to if I was AP 0.
Yeah.
But the AP reduces your armor save by 1 for every increment it has.
Yeah. So your AP 3
Yep.
would be a save 5 or a 4-up invulnerable.
Yes.
Okay.
So you can generally choose to use the armor save or the invulnerable save. I believe you still have to take the best save available.
So I'll take the invulnerable.
Exactly.
So I want a 4-up.
Yep.
6.
And he rolls a 6. He's too tough.
Reflects off the shield.
I can't hurt him. So, the last shot is going to go into our big boy over there. We're going to shoot at him. We get him with a 6. Hooray! we're gonna wound him with a great big 3. No, because he is toughness 7, and I'm only strength 5. So I would need a 5 or 6 to wound. So sadly, I don't wound today.
That's a relief.
It is a relief. He wouldn't have taken too much damage anyway. So now we'll move on to this guy right here. He can see the guy because he can see over the tank in front of him.
I'm sorry, who's he looking at?
So this dreadnought here, Big Red, is going to be shooting at the biggest boy right there.
He has a name, you know.
Yeah, it's Lieutenant Dan because he lost his legs, and that's what I'm going to call him from now on. All right, guys, hashtag Lieutenant Dan in the chat, please, and thank you. So we're going to shoot at him. So hitting him on 3s because I'm a vehicle and I ignore the moving and firing heavy weapons. So hitting on 3s. I'm re-rolling 1s because of my super doctrine being Iron Hands. So re-rolling my 1-1 into another one. All right, cool. That dice can just go away. And now I'm wounding you on 5s and 6s. I've wounded you thrice, good sir, at -2.
Okay, so that puts me at a toughness of 7.
So, yeah,
That'll be a save of...
that would be a save of 5 up. Because
5
I'm
up.
-2, you have a 3 up armor save, bring you down from
Those.
3 to 4 to 5.
And that's 3?
Yes, please.
I'll take 1.
Oh, beautiful. So, another cool thing. Most dreadnoughts have a thing that reduces damage by 1 to a minimum of 1. That doesn't really come into play here because I have only a damage 1 weapon. Now, because nobody else is within range of my heavy flamer underneath his little grabby claw, I can't really do anything, so I left it unresolved. That doesn't carry over to another turn or anything. It is what it is. I can't hit anything. So lastly, I'm going to fire my Razorback into the Redemptor Dreadnought. Now this is where the big guns come in. I got 2 shots here. I've spent my reroll unwisely, but I got 2 hits, a 5 and a 6. Perfect. Now because I'm strength 9 and he is toughness 7, I'm still looking for 3s. Oh!
Double 2s.
I rolled double 2s. That's unlucky. Unlucky, so to say. So, now that I've shot everything that really cares to shoot or wants to shoot, I advanced with my Psyker and my Primaris Librarian and my Primaris Chaplain. So they're ineligible to shoot. That is it for my shooting phase. Moving on to my charge phase. Now, in the charge phase, unless otherwise stated in the unit's profile or your army rules, you can only declare things within 12 inches. So, my closest unit is out of 12 inches. So, currently I have no charges that I can possibly declare. So that means I would move into the fight phase. At this point, we would determine, is someone within engagement range? Engagement range is any unit within an inch. So that could be either a model that charged or an ongoing combat. But we don't have any of that just yet. I expect to see it in in Ara's first turn. But that's it for me. Now we'd move on to the morale phase. Ye didn't lose any models. I didn't lose any models. At this point, there's no morale to take. But we would do any kind of coherency checks at this point in time. And you just take a look at your models, make sure they're all within coherency. You can look at your enemy's models and be like, hey, is that unit within coherency? And you just pull out a tape and measure up. But it looks okay, so that's the end of my turn. We now would move on to Ara's turn.
So when do you do scoring?
In the command phase, typically.
Okay.
There's 2 points. So if we were doing secondaries, we try and keep track of them as they are scored. Most of the time, they are scored at the end of the turn. So like banners and stuff. Or like bring it down or assassinate. Mm-hmm. You kind of keep a running total of what's going on. Just so we can update you lovely ladies at home on the computer. But there's nothing happened there. So it's all good. We're just playing for our big secondaries. Or big primaries. And just killing each other. Because that's most of the game. Now, you can disagree with me in the chat, but it is what it is. So right now, we would start Ara's command phase. So immediately, he would get another command point, bringing him up to, I think, 7? Did you spend a command point pregame?
I did not.
That brings him up to 7. Because he didn't have anything to re-roll. He didn't have any kind of stuff going on. Generally, it helps to kind of keep a dice on the table to kind of keep track. Or just have like an area where you keep your points and you keep track of your CP. So, we move into the command phase. Aside from a few select stratagems, Ara shouldn't be doing too much here.
I don't think I will.
Yeah. He just gets his command point, says, how do you do to the command phase? Because typically this is where you do like your chaplain stuff, your chapter master rerolls. You'd pick a unit and do that. If you wanted to do like a reroll aura on his dreadnought, he'd do that here. But sadly, we don't have the sheer amount of points to add those kind of luxuries. I brought a couple just to show people at home and Ara here today. So, what you looking at, buddy?
I'm looking at my doctrines.
Okay, so with Space Marines, they get something called doctrines, or combat doctrines, more formally known. There's 3. There's the Devastator, there's the Tactical, and there's the Assault. Starting with the Devastator, that affects heavy and grenade, and it only lasts for the first turn. I'm not sure if it spills over. I don't think it does. It only acts within the first battle round, so to say. The Tactical Doctrine, which can last from anywhere from turn 2 to 3, covers assault and rapid-fire weapons, thus benefiting them with an additional AP. Same with the Devastator Doctrine, 2 grenades and heavy, respectively. And then at the end of turn 3, going into turn 4, you must go into the Assault Doctrine, which only affects pistols and assault or melee weapons. So right now, he is forced into Devastator Doctrine. His Super Doctrine is in the Tactical phase, giving him +1 to wound on Melta and Flame weapons. If my memory serves me correctly, let me know in the chat if I screwed that up.
Okay, so if I don't have any commands.
Any command phase stuff?
Nope.
No, you just move right on into the movement phase. You got your command point. You can move on right into moving.
I'm going to move my.
Your Redemptor.
I'm going to start with Redemptor.
Hell yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
So he can move.
He moves the big 8. He looks like he might be coming to hurt me.
That was a 1.
Also, cool thing that Ara just did here brilliantly. You measure front to front. You don't measure back to front to back, any kind of stuff. That's leapfrogging, cheating. So what he's done, completely legal. And we give him the good old double FMN thumbs up.
These guys are going to move forward.
Yeah.
They're going to stay inside.
Hell yeah.
40 votes that are charged the Razorback.
Oh, I fully expect him to. He should charge the Razorback.
Who said that?
Oh, that's Ian. Hi, Ian. We're going to give you a shout out right here at the Grimforge studio. So
They moved.
Yeah, they would move.
Let's see, aggressors.
I believe the aggressors
5.
move the big 5, yeah. And if you wanted to, you could advance them, unless you wanted to charge.
Well,
Their flame weapons are 12 inches. They don't have stuff on the top. They just got the double flame gauntlets.
yeah. 12-inch range?
Yeah, 12-inch range on the flamers.
Okay. Pass me my measuring
Oh,
device.
yes, absolutely. There you go, sir.
So if I move 5, that puts me to here.
Would you like a hint?
And then,
Oh, yeah, you got plenty of room.
Okay.
So,
They're going to move forward.
yeah. So, quick tip for everyone at home: when you want to be a really cool dude, ask your opponent if they would like help with their movement if they're moving a bunch of stuff really fast. So, like, if Buddy has his measure tape out and he's just like, I gotta move like 12 that way, be like, hey, you want a hand? Just put your finger down at the edge of where their movement is, and then it just lets them know that you're a cool dude and you're helping move the game.
So intercessors with their assault weapons can advance and shoot.
Yep, they'll be at a -1 penalty, but that's about it.
Yeah.
So if you really want to get up in somebody's face, advancing is a good way to do it.
Might not have to.
No, the range on those is like 24. So,
And they move 6.
something that I should probably tell you folks at home, and Ara here, when you're moving, kind of be cognizant of where you're going to be scoring the next turn. So if Ara wants to like hold that objective and this objective, which would give him 2 and more than me currently, he'll have to want to stay on at least 2 objectives. Ooh. Oh, I need a little sippy poo of the old clear stuff. I'm getting too fat for this shit.
And my lieutenant is going to move forward. He moves 6,
Yep.
so he's just going to tuck himself in right here.
Yep. Now that's important because it'll get him within range of his reroll aura to his aggressors here, which is some very good placement. So, is that all for your movement?
That's all for my movement.
Beautiful. Everything's just normal moved, so nothing too crazy. Nothing fell back. Nothing remained stationary, so we can move right on to the psychic phase. Do you have any psychers?
I do not have any psychers.
Psychic phase is over! Shut that crap down! So, on to shooting phase.
Onto shooting phase.
Yes.
So, this guy's got a whole bunch of different kinds of weapons.
Yes, he does.
He's got the Incinerator, Stormbolter, and the Heavy Flamer.
Yep.
So can I divide my attacks up for whatever I have in range?
So when you pick a weapon, you have to fire that entire weapon at a target. So like, you couldn't split fire your Macroplasma Incinerator between 2 different units.
Yeah.
However, if it's a different weapon system, so like the twin Stormbolters, or is it just 2 Stormbolters?
Yes, it's a pair of Stormbolters.
Is it like actually? No, it's just one. So you could.
But it's got 2.
Yeah.
2 times
Yeah.
Stormbolter.
So it's just more of like, is it a twin Stormbolter or is it 2 Stormbolters? Because it matters.
Okay.
This would mean that he could take one Stormbolter, shoot it at a unit, take that other Stormbolter, shoot it at a separate unit.
Okay.
So for every weapon you have, you can shoot it. And that is regardless of model
Okay.
and model type.
So he's got the Stormbolter,
He's
he's got the Heavy Flamer,
Yep.
and he's got the Rocket Pod,
Yep.
and he's got the Incinerator.
Yep.
So,
So I think I know the Plasma Cannon. Plasma Cannon should probably go into here.
I was thinking that.
The Heavy Flamer has got range on
Chaplain?
the chaplain back here, but can't target him because the vehicle is right there, protecting him. So he's
So-
kind of like hiding behind it.
So I should put the Flamer and the Plasma Cannon into the tank.
Absolutely.
And then the Rocket Pod,
The Rocket Pod, you can probably put that anywhere, but because it's strength 7 and D3 damage, and will have an additional AP because it is heavy, you might want to throw it into the Razorback.
okay.
It just has that multiple damage, has that high strength. Like, you're just trying to push stuff through on my Razorback here.
And the Stormbolter I could put into your
You can put it into these guys.
Eliminators? Yeah.
They're currently only getting like a 3-up save
Okay.
because they don't really have any cover right now. So it's not a bad call to fire the Stormbolters into here and everything else into the tank.
Stormbolters into the Eliminators.
Yep.
And then everything else into the tank.
Now
the question is,
yes.
Do I want to overload my plasma cannon? Do I want to YOLO this?
Okay, so for the folks at home, the question Ara is currently asking is he a coward? And
How dare you?
how dare I indeed? Depends on what you're shooting at, in all honesty. But because you're trying to get as much through on the tank here, I would suggest that you overcharge it. There are certain things like intercessors and the like that are 2 wounds that you wouldn't really overcharge for that. It's kind of a waste and you risk hurting yourself. But if you're gonna go for max damage on the tank here and you just want to wipe it off the map, you go for it. Oh, we dropped one. But he's too tough. He's back here. So yeah, overcharging. It really depends on what you're shooting.
I'll go.
Yeah, go for it.
I'll go from this way to this way. I'm going to start with the weapons into the tank.
All right.
So starting with the overloaded plasma incinerator.
Yep, that is D6 blast. Blast is, we'll get into it when it becomes relevant. Right now it's just a normal D6 because it's just on the tank.
Okay.
Yep.
So for this, because the weapon type is heavy D6,
Yep.
is that the amount of attacks I would be making when I roll?
So you'd roll a D6, and that would be the number of attacks that you get. So
1.
you get a 1. At this point in time, Ara should spend a command point to re-roll that 1.
I'll spend a command point to reroll that 1.
Beautiful. Down to 6 in the thing. Thanks, producer Chris. Now you'd pick up that 6, and he'd re-roll, or that 1, and he'd re-roll it.
It's 2.
It's a 2. It's a disappointing thing, but you know what? It's better than 1. 100% better than 1. Sorry?
Double the amount of
Exactly. It's 100% more. Thanks, producer Chris. So now you'd have 2 attacks. At this point, you'd roll to see if you hit.
Ballistic score.
So yes, your ballistic skill. We got
I got 1.
He got 1 hit. So now he would roll to wound. Because he is strength 9 and I am toughness 7, he'll be wounding me on 3s.
3 up. Nope.
So now we just go down the line of all the other weapon systems. So
Okay. So next up would be the
the heavy flamer.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter what order you do it in at this point.
Yeah, let's do the heavy flamer.
All right.
Where is the heavy flamer?
I believe it is 1d6 auto hits.
So it's going to be 4 hits.
Yeah, so that's just 4 right away hits. You skip the ballistic skill,
And then I
go
go
right to
right
the
to
wound
wounds.
roll. So, because it's strength 5 and I'm toughness 7, he'd be wounding me on 5s.
Which is none.
We get 0. My tank, too tough. And now to the Icarus rocket launcher.
Let's go with the Gatling cannon, or sorry, the Stormbolter first.
Oh, the Stormbolters into these guys?
Stormbolter into that, and then the rocket's going to go into those guys.
Oh, okay.
So Stormbolter, rapid fire 2. I've got 2 of them, so that means I have 4.
So you'd have 4 normally, but since I'm within 12, you double that.
So I'm at 8.
Yes.
Okay. And my ballistic score is 3.
Yep. So hitting on 3s.
So it's a no, that's a no, that's a no. So that's going to be 3 for 5.
So 5 hits.
5 hits.
All right.
And the strength of that weapon is a
I believe it's a strength 4.
4. No armor piercing.
No armor piercing. So you'd roll your to wound roll because you've already hit.
Okay.
You've hit me 5 times. And now you'd be looking for 5s.
So I scored 1.
1 on the tank. I have a 3-up armor save, no AP. I roll a 3. I am somehow safe.
Okay.
Now the Icarus rocket launcher, I believe, is your last weapon system here.
It is.
Into the guys up top. Now, blast. If you have 6 models or more, any blast weapon automatically goes to 3 hits, as opposed to D3 or
Okay.
D6 or 2D6 or whatever. When it hits 11 or more, it's the max amount.
Okay.
So there's a bunch of gaming things around that. So that's where that macro blast comes into, or that macro incinerator would come into handy. Because if it targeted, say, this unit, and this unit had like 7 models, he'd always get at least 3 shots,
Okay.
which is handy. But since this only has 3 models, he'd still have to roll it. No flat amount.
So 3.
So it'd be
So two shots.
2 shots. Yep, exactly.
And that's going to be a 2 go through.
That's 2 hits.
And what
I
am
believe
rolling
you
next?
were strength 7, AP1, AP2 because it's Devastator Doctrine for you.
Yep.
So you'd be wounding me on 3s.
That's a 5 and a 6.
5 and a 6. I need to make a pair of 5s. I don't make any. So now we'd roll these one at a time because they're D3 damage apiece. And these guys are 2 wounds.
What damage 2?
Well, hot dog. That's something I didn't really remember. We learn something new every day. So the first guy, because I have a 6-up feel no pain because I'm Iron Hands, I'd roll these one at a time because there's a chance that one guy could tank all of it. One guy does not tank all of it. He just dies. And then the next one also dies. Shame. All that's left is the sergeant to hold the line. And that's the Redemptor shot. Now we'd moving on down the line.
Intercessors.
Yeah. So now here's the great thing about 9th, and it's true line of sight. So long as he could draw a line from each model to some part of my model, he could target it because he's in the ruins. So the easy way I like to go is just hold your tape sideways and just hold it on one end of the model and just draw from one aspect that you'd find appropriate. So oops, sorry, excuse me. So because of how he's positioned all of his models, I believe that he would be able to shoot with every single one into my Razorback.
And that's what I'll do.
Yep. Oh,
So-
and the grenade launcher. Where's it going to go?
I'll do the same thing.
All right.
Into the Razorback. So I'll start with a grenade launcher.
Do you want to go with frag or crack?
Let's go crack.
Yeah, crack. I love the crack grenade launcher. Just pops so nicely.
So the crack grenade launcher.
Yeah, it's underslung to one of your
Yep. To
one of your dudes here. You can see him.
Yep. So how would I roll for that then?
so-
Same idea with the wound score or the ballistic score?
Yep, same ballistic score. So you'd roll to hit, and you'd roll to wound, and we'd resolve it from there.
Okay.
With the D6 weapon, you'd roll a D6 to determine the amount of shots you'd get. You then take that amount of shots, roll to see if they hit, and roll to see if they wound.
Okay. So in that case, I'm gonna hit you on a 3.
Yep.
Nope.
This is a big 2 for the folks at home.
So I can't shoot with the assault bolt rifle with him now.
No, you could.
I could?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
A model can fire every single weapon that it has available to it. The only exception to that rule being pistols.
And I don't think I have range for my hand flamer.
12.
12.
Yeah. Oh, you might actually. Let me just pull out the old measure tape. Ooh, yeah, you would.
Okay, I'll roll that next.
Yep.
So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. For my assault bolt rifle.
I believe it's assault 3. It's up actually. I saw it. Slow.
Bags, bolt.
Bolt
pistol.
rifle. Auto bolt rifle. Assault 3.
Okay, so what does that mean then? For
So
the
that
three?
means for every gun you have 3 shots.
Whoa!
Yep.
So then I've got 27 shots.
Quick math says he is absolutely right. So you'd have 27 shots into my tank. What does this mean for me? It means there's a lot of diddly. It means on average, he should get about 27 down to 18. Now we get 6. About 2 wounds on the Razorback.
So this is 3
On average-ish. Plus 1 or plus.
hitting on 3s.
Yep.
So miss, 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 miss,
Yeah,
miss.
plenty of misses. This is where captains and lieutenants really help, but it's the first game. You're not going to have an entire list just yet, and that's okay.
Okay, and the
The strength is 4 and the toughness is 7, so 5s.
I'm hitting you on 5s.
Yep.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 3.
Only 3.
Yep.
All right, so because there's no AP, saving on my 3 ups. I failed one.
Hey.
He chips the paint, but does he? A 6 up, feel no pain. Yeah, haven't made one yet today. So that brings my Razorback down to 9 wounds from the original 10. So I'm gonna throw a dice right beside him. Just mark that. When you're marking your models, it always helps to count down, I find, because a lot of the nomenclature is counting down as opposed to counting up.
Okay, hand flamer,
Yep.
D6. So
Whoa,
it's 5 shots.
Big 5 shots from the hand flamer.
5.
And these auto hit, so now he's just straight up wounding. But because he's only strength 3 and I'm toughness 7, he's fishing for 6s.
So I got 2 6s.
He got 2 6s. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely
and
unbelievable.
Because I'm salamanders, I get to re-roll 1 rune roll.
1 rune roll per squad, yes.
Nope.
I totally forgot about that. That would have really helped your dreadnought.
We learn.
Yes, we live, we learn. I still fail one. Why did you save it on a 6?
Okay.
I am too tough.
Into these unit. So,
Who are they going to shoot? These boys?
yep. Everything
All
into
right.
there. So we're looking for 12.
No, because you're not bolt rifles, you're auto bolt rifles. So
Oh, yeah.
you'd be looking at 24.
Ooh.
Because the amount of shots for assault weapons don't change
Oh, okay, but if I'm within 12, it's double the amount of attacks
for rapid fire.
for rapid fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
So because they're not rapid fire, they wouldn't double at 12.
Okay, so I've got range for
You got range on everyone.
everyone's got range.
Yep.
And then my Neovolkite pistol also.
Oh,
has-
that's separate.
Yeah, that's the lieutenant.
Yeah, the lieutenant is a separate unit, so you would declare him and fire him separately from the squad.
Okay. So
So-
we're going to start off with the grenade launcher.
Yep.
So again,
The crack is probably better for these guys, in my opinion, as opposed to the frag. If you were shooting at like Tyranids or guardsmen or cultists, they'd probably be better to go frag just because of the sheer. You'd have a bottom for the amount of hits
Yeah.
you'd get.
okay, so crack grenade.
Crack grenade, 1 shot. Does he hit me?
6 hits.
Damn it, he hits me. Does he wound? On a 3. His strength 6, toughness 4. Gets
Hits.
through. AP 1. I fail on a 3.
But you ignore it, don't you? Because we're in the Devastator Doctrine.
No, it's an assault weapon.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So the underslung grenade launcher on intercessors is an assault weapon, not a grenade weapon like it was in the previous codex.
Okay,
An
damage.
important change.
Damage D3.
Yep. Does the big 2 damage.
2 damage.
Can I pass it? Ah, no, I can't. So one of my boys dies. The guy with the hair is the sergeant,
Okay.
because sergeants don't wear hats.
6, 12, 14, 16, 20,
Oh, I'm just
24,
gonna
26, 27.
stretch my legs here.
Okay.
get a
Next
good
up is going
stretch.
to be the assault bolters.
Yep, the assault bolters. Strength 4, 3 shots. No AP, 1 damage. I know way too much about this game. It's like my curse.
So I'm hitting
Oh.
you on 3s.
Damn, that's a good spread of hits. So, where the first squad failed, the second squad is pulling up the slack. At this point, I will spend a command point to give my infiltrators a 5-up feel no pain, because I want to kind of keep them on the field for a little bit. So that should bring me down to, I believe, 3 CP.
So what's your strength for those guys? Or toughness, sorry?
Oh, toughness is 4. So, with that said, he'd be wounding me on 4s. So knowing my luck, all those dice will wound me.
That's a miss. That's a miss.
It's not looking good for our infiltrating boys over here.
Miss. 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 So it's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
All right, 8 saves. Now, you can be an absolute degenerate and roll these one at a time, or if you don't want to waste anybody's time, roll them all at the same time. So I fail 3 right off the hop. 5 up, feel no pain. I stop 2, only take 1. So I'm gonna put it on this guy right up front,
Okay.
just to kind of make the charge a little bit longer
Hand
for
flamer?
for our friend here.
3 shots of the hand flamer. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be wounding you. So strength of 3 on that one.
Yep. So it'll be wounding me on 5s.
I'll reroll that guy. So only 1 goes through.
Only 1. I save it on a 3 up.
Okay, next is Lieutenant with his Volkite pistol.
Yep. Now this one is different because on a wound roll of 6, I believe, it causes a mortal wound in addition. And if that happens, we'll get to it. All right.
So pistol 2, so that's going to be range of 15. He's
Yep.
in range.
Oh, 100%.
And wounding you, or sorry, ballistic score is 2 up.
Yep. So he hitting me on 2s.
Oh, double 1!
He can't hit nothing. I'm too spooky.
Okay, next up is the aggressors.
All right. So these guys are fun. These guys have a lot of dice. I'm going to try and keep it entertaining for you folks at home. So each one gets 2d6 shots that auto hit. Oh, that's something that we forgot. You should have been re-rolling your ones for these guys.
Why was that?
For your wound rolls.
Oh.
Because that's a lieutenant, and he has tactical precision. And once more, yeah, he should have been re-rolling his ones for his captain. I sadly didn't catch that, so because I'm just a neato kind of dude, I'm just gonna take this guy away, just to kind of keep it interesting for the folks at home. Just kill that dude off.
So the wording is reroll a hit to 1, because they have a Salamander's rights of
Oh no,
battle
it's not
or
the rights of battle. It's the
Lieutenant?
so both captains and lieutenants in the primary or in the Space Marine Codex have rights of battle and tactical precision. So when you're a core unit, which is your intercessors, your aggressors, and your redemptors, when you're within 6 of them, they will either reroll 1s to hit or 1s to wound, depending on whether you brought a captain or lieutenant, respectively. So
So those 2 ones for the Neo-Volkite pistol were...
sadly, no, because the characters, the Primaris Lieutenant right here, and the Agadrax Agatone, are not core. They don't have the core keyword.
So they can't buff each other.
Yes,
Okay,
because
that makes sense.
they should already be benefiting from their superior martial skill, their tactical acumen, but they should be passing that on to subordinates,
Okay.
like your intercessors.
So when it says reroll a hit roll of 1, is that 1 singular hit roll?
Yeah, that is 1 singular hit roll.
Okay.
So your rights of battle. So let's say he rolled up and he had 5 attacks, and he was shooting at me. And let's say we had a 1, a 3, a 4, a 5, and a 2.
And another 1, let's say. So you'd say you had 2 ones. Do you reroll both those ones or just 1 singular 1?
So you'd re-roll a dice.
Okay.
So you'd pick up your 4, your 3, your 4, your 6, and you'd pick up one of your misses. And then you'd re-roll one of your misses, see if it
Okay.
hits. Whatever.
Gotcha.
The cool thing with Salamanders is if, let's say, you rolled a 2, you could re-roll your 1 based on you having a captain nearby, and you'd pick up that 2 as well. And you'd re-roll the 1s and that singular 2.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. In that case, let's move on to the aggressors.
Yes. So each one of them has 2d6 flamer shots. 1d6 for each fist they got. Load out. And up.
It just
So-
shows the Fragstorm grenade launchers.
Oh, dang. Well, I got it right here.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, you see it?
The
We'll
sheet's not
just-
showing.
Slowly, slowly, and very casually stall. Here it is. Right here. In the book, if you so graciously look. So, each model is equipped with 2 Flamestorm gauntlets.
So it's going to
Sorry.
be 6.
It'll be 2d6.
So 2 6 per.
2d6 per guy.
Okay.
So, that being 66 in total for every single dude here. Now he just throws down that dice. Now, if he wanted to, he could spend the Salamander strat, which would make all of those just go to max shots.
I think I want to do that.
He wants to do that, ladies and gentlemen.
So I'm going to drop a command point.
I believe it is 1. If you got your supplement here.
It's not in the new one.
No, it's not in the Space Marine Codex, but it is in the Salamander supplement.
Got
if
it
you
right
have
here.
that handy.
So is that still legal?
Yep. That Salamander supplement,
Yeah.
it is absolutely legal.
Okay.
Well, maybe not that one. How old is that?
This is the recent Codex.
Oh yeah,
one.
then that one is.
Came out right before
Yep.
9th edition.
Yeah, so we go to the stratagems.
Where are the strats?
Lords of Nocturne stratagems. Back. There we go. And I can't remember which one it is. Might be Flamecraft. Yeah.
Maximum number of attacks are made.
Yeah, Flamecraft for
So
2 CP.
So I'm going to drop 2 command points. I'm down to 4.
Yeah, down to 4.
Okay. So
Bonk. We're doing it live.
that means that
Instead of rolling for the D6, you just get 6 shots per gun. So that
So-
means, quick math, 6 times 6. Do it at home.
36.
Let us know in the chat how many it is.
36.
Don't tell them, Ara, they'll be cheating.
36.
Dang it.
We're salamanders. We're helpful.
You're too helpful to the humans. So, 36 shots. If you want, you can do this in batches of 18 if it's easier.
So that's. Yeah. I don't think I have enough
Yeah,
room in the,
we don't
in the
have-
dice tray.
yeah.
3, so that's 6, 12, 18.
Yep, there we go. We'll just do one group of 18 at a time. See if these guys can hold the line. I kind of need them to, or else I won't have any objectives.
What am I winning you on?
So you should be winning me on 4s. Keep in mind, you do have a lieutenant right there, so you will be re-rolling your 1s.
Okay.
Of which there are none, folks at home. There are no 1s.
And I'm winning you on 5s.
4s.
4s.
Yes. So if you want, I'll just keep a running total.
So it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
So, average, 12 on 18. So, rolling the next 18. I'm just doing this so I can roll all my saves at the exact same time. So,
And again on 3s.
again on 4s.
4s.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's
That's it. So that's another 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
So that brings me up to 23 wounds. So it's quite a few wounds. I don't expect these guys to survive. Did I want them to? Absolutely. But hey, we can't have nice things here. That's not what we do here. We roll dice and we get angry at each other for reasons unknown. Oh dear, it's not a good showing so far. We've currently failed 6, and I'm still pulling dice out. Ooh. So we failed a whole 10. I now need to make at least 5 5s and 6s on my Feel No Pains in order to keep this squad alive. I've made 3, ladies and gentlemen. This squad is wiped. They are gone. Out of here. Just send it. Full send, everyone. So, that's the shooting phase. Your Agdrax Agatone could possibly shoot. However, I don't believe there's anybody here within range. So, I believe that is the end of your shooting phase.
Let's see what range he has with Malleus, or with his Dracus, 12 inches.
12 inches. So 12 inches, yeah, everything's out of there.
Need to charge?
Yep, so now, moving on to the charge phase, we have one most likely charge. Ian, keep track. Here it's happening. So you declare which model or which unit you want to charge and into whom.
I declare that Ancient Deering is going to go into that tank.
So Dreadnought Dan over there is going to charge my beautiful tank here. Now at this point, I would get an opportunity to decide whether I want to overwatch or not. Ooh, that's right. We're old here. We're old and slow. So
I need a 5.
he needs a big old 5 inches. You know, hell, I'd take it. But I'm gonna spend 1 CP to overwatch. See if I can't weather him down. So, fuck, bring me down to, I guess, 2 CP or something. 2 shots. Since it's still Devastator Doctrine, I'm re-rolling my ones. I got a hit! Hooray! Do I wound him? I got another 2! Oh, the pattern continues. I wasted a CP for no reason. Now, he needs to roll. He needs to get within an inch of my tank. So, he was absolutely correct. I'm about 5.5 away, which means he needs a 5 in order to charge. He is clearly rolled a 4. So at this point, he could spend another CP to re-roll that entire charge roll.
So if I charge you now, that means I can't shoot my plasma incinerator at you next turn? Because I'm engaged with you?
If I'm still there.
Okay.
Yeah, so just because you... charging doesn't... I love it. So, when you make a charge, it doesn't really affect your next turn unless you're still engaged.
Okay.
It's whole schwack of rules.
We'll get there when we get there.
Exactly.
I'm gonna spend a command point to re-roll that charge.
So, we rolled the 4 first. What are we going to roll this time? Hey, a
11.
big 11! Whoa! I really got to start playing orcs. They're an army after my heart. So, come on, come and get me. Come and get me, you big old biggity bitch.
The smack talk is real.
Oh, yeah. Smack talk is always real. It's got to be part of this game. So, there is one other charge you could declare. I really wouldn't recommend it, but...
No, I'll leave these guys there.
Yeah.
So, Redemptor Fist.
Redemptor Fist. So he should have 5 attacks on the charge. 4 base, one extra for Shock Assault. That's a Space Marine special kind of rule. So, hitting me on 3s with his big old fist. Now, I believe Master Artisan still happens here. If we just look at the rules quickly, I believe you can re-roll 1 hit roll. I'm not sure if it's ranged or melee or both.
To shoot or fight.
Yeah, so he gets to re-roll 1 hit roll right now. So, re-roll that one.
No.
It's still a 2. But, you know, every little bit helps.
So that's 4 of those guys.
4 hits. I believe he's strength 1 billion. I believe he's base strength 7 or 8.
Strength 7, so times 2 is 14.
Yep, and I'm toughness 7, so 14. Clearly double 7. He's wounding me on 2s, ladies and gentlemen.
And a good thing too, because I scored 2 2s.
All right, and I believe the AP on that fist is 3.
-3.
Thankfully, I've got my 5-up invulnerable from Psychic Fortress back here from my librarian, so I'm fishing for 5s here. If I can get any. I didn't get any.
D3 plus 3.
Yeah, so the tank's probably gone, but...
So is it D3 plus 3 times each one of these dice?
So you'd roll for each one. So you roll like 4 dice, because there's only 1 target. All the damage would go into that tank.
So 6, so that's a 3, plus 3 will be 6.
Yep.
And then that's a 1, so it's 10,
So
16, 20.
All right, so we got quite a bit of damage here, ladies and
Rip you
gentlemen.
open like a can opener.
We're just ripping open the crunchy metal center to the golden nougaty hard center inside. I rolled 20 dice there. I think I made one feel no pain. It's dead. So now we do the emergency disembark. So when you disembark for anything, you have to get out within 3 inches of the unit that held you. So, and you have to, nope, what the, oh, that guy. We lost one. Ugh. Boop, there we go. So, we'll take out my tactical marines. We're gonna put a toe on this objective here and stay outside of an inch of that big mean dreadnought. And why are we doing this? So we can take that objective, because we didn't do it right the first time. So we're just gonna do that. So hooray. Now we roll, see if this guy explodes. On a 6, we roll a 5, he does not explode. Now we roll for all the guys that got out. On a 1, we lose a guy. We roll 2 1s, we lose 2 guys. And now we remove the model. At this point in time, our Redemptor here would consolidate into whatever model he wants, or to the closest enemy model, which would mean he'd be consolidating into this tactical marine. In my opinion, there's no real downside to doing that. It stops my plasma from firing. So if our good arrow wants to come back from the behind the cool screens.
Sorry, I was just smack talking.
Oh, fair enough. Smack talk all you want. If you would like to consolidate your Redemptor, you may.
That means I get to...
You get to move 3 inches towards the closest enemy model. So at this point, he could tag my tactical marines. Now, since he's run out of charged models, it now goes to any engaged models, starting with the defending player, the player whose turn it isn't.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Absolutely. That's me. I might have messed up, but that's okay. So I'm going to just move my guys in, nice 3 inches. For those people at home being like, why isn't he using a measure thing? I know what 3 inches looks like. Have all my life. Thanks, producer Chris, for laughing at that. That was really great. It's always nice having a live studio audience. All right. So we're going to swing with a power sword on my sergeant. We hit you once. Strength is 5, so efficient 4 or 5, we get nothing. And the guys with the rifle butts both hit. And we don't wound you, but that's okay. All right. So that's everything for shooting and charging and all that kind of fun stuff.
Okay.
So we now move on to morale. Moving on to my Eliminator squad, who took quite a few casualties, and that was rather unexpected. We'll just double check, make sure that I still can't fail. I believe that they're like at least leadership 8, which means they can't really fail, but it's always good to know your rules. And me clearly stalling for time here, I clearly don't. Yeah, Sergeant's leadership 8, so no matter what I roll, they're fine. And cool thing for morale, a 1 always passes. So you could lose like 20 guys out of a 21 guy squad. You roll a 1, doesn't matter. The other squad rolls a 2. They're also fine. So that's it for your turn 1. How did it feel?
Just getting set up.
Yeah, getting set up, ready to do some damage. So, moving on to my turn 2, starting my command phase. Give me a command point, Chris. Thank you. Moving on to the chaplain. We're going to move a little bit faster this time. So, Mantra of Strength, does it go off? On a 6, it will. And your skulls for the skull throne. I love it. And I don't think, yeah, I don't think we'll do any kind of March of the Ancients on the Dreadnought. Moving right into my movement phase, we're gonna move this guy right about here, outside of an inch. Hey, look, this Dreadnought. Oh, baby, he's coming for you. Oh, I totally forgot. I gotta score some points. I score 5 points on my primary. How? I got these Tactical Marines right there. I don't hold 2 or more. We hold the same, as our boy Era did not claim the center objective, but he did take the back one. So we still have the same. Now, if my Tactical Marines somehow just die, I'm in trouble. But it is what it is. So I'm up to 5 primary points.
So you can't tag an objective and then leave it. So I can't tag this one, say that I've claimed it, and then move off of it.
No.
Does it then become contested?
It just becomes not used.
Okay.
You don't contest it because in order to contest one, both myself and you have to be on it in equal number.
Gotcha.
And we'll get into objective secure and how that interacts with if it comes up. So into the movement phase, these guys are going to fall back because they're cowards. Yeah, cowardice. This Psyker is going to move on up. Oh, boop. And these guys are going to run away. Yeah, they're going to run away. Big 5. So they're moving 10. They're going to go way back here. Way back here, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because we need to hold objectives, and I didn't do it right the first time. That guy can just stay there for now. So that's it for movement. At the very end of movement phase, there is a reinforcement or other kind of step, and we're going to do that right now. We're going to drop these guys down right here. So,
Have to be 9 inches away.
yep,
That's 9.
the big 9.
That's 9 right there.
Oh, I know what 9 inches looks like too. Boop. Boop. And what are we going to do? We're just going to try and create some trouble for our boy. Here. We'll just spread them out just a little bit. There we go. Bonk. At this point in time, I've dropped my guys in. Ara could use a strat called Aspect Scan. I wouldn't recommend it because I still think it's 2 CP, and we're at a low CP kind of game. These guys are a bit of a threat, but these guys should be able to deal with them because I don't want to charge them. I want to remove his kind of like field holding ability. So we're going to move on to the Psychic phase. Our boy here is going to cast Psychic Fortress. Fails on a 3. Do I need it? Do I want it? Yeah, I want it. I gotta spend a CP to re-roll that 3 into a 9. Goes off, Psychic Fortress. So now my big damage dealers are protected, which is nice. Next up will be Mantra of Strength, which fails on a 5. And we'll just have to live with that. Moving on to the shooting phase. These guys aren't going to do nothing. The sniper will go sniping. He's going to try and shoot at your lieutenant again. He hits you. He wounds you on a 3. He's got a 4-up invul.
What's the... I have to use that one, don't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's either 4-up armor, 4-up invul. So
Okay.
you pick one, go with it.
4 up. 4.
Hey, nice. Passes. Sniper's
Ding.
proving ineffective today.
Off the shield.
The grenade launcher from this guy is going to go into these guys. I don't believe they can... Actually, yeah, we can plink away some wounds. Yeah, the grenade launcher's 30 inches. So, grenade launcher into these guys. The assault bolters into him. So, 1 crack grenade into the aggressors. A 4 will hit. A 1 will fail to wound. Moving on to the assault bolt, or the auto bolt rifles. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Into the big scary robot thing. Friggin' phenomenal roll here. Drop 4. Sadly, he ignores AP 1 because he is Salamanders. But he will not be ignoring my 3 wounds. 3 wounds. Functionally AP 0 on him.
So saving on 3 up.
Yep, 3 up. Just because you ignore AP 1.
I'll take 1.
Takes 1 damage. We're bringing him down, ladies and gentlemen. 1 plink at a time. Those guys fell back. Now on to the Dreadnought. He's going to fire his heavy flamer into the Redemptor. He gets 1 shot. Fails to wound. Moving on to the Assault Cannon into the Redemptor. Misses twice. Now wounding him on 5s. No wounds. All right, that's it for the shooting phase. Moving on to the charge phase. We're going to charge with my Chaplain into the big guy.
Do it.
Why? Because I'm insane. Hey, look, he made it with an 8. Whoop, he's there now. Do I expect the Chaplain to die? Absolutely. Next up will be the Dreadnought. He's in with a 3. Ooh, maybe 4. Yeah, he's in. Boop. All right. Now, the moment you guys have all been waiting for. These Vanguard vets are going to go into these guys. You going to spend a CP to Overwatch?
Yeah, why not?
All right. So, on 6s to hit, he will hit. His captain and his lieutenant auras will still go off.
So do I get to shoot with everything I have?
Yep.
So that's the 27 shots again?
Yep. And the flamer.
2.
And it's turn 2, so your flamer is actually +1 to wound.
15, 17, 20, 24, 25, 26, 27. I forgot what these guys are hitting on.
They'll be hitting on 6s, because in Overwatch, you hit on 6s, unless your army states otherwise.
Hitting on 6s.
Yep. So you're hitting on 6s, re-rolling 1s, and 1 miss, if you wish.
So re-rolling all my ones to hit.
Yep. Because of your captain.
Okay.
Get any 6s?
Negative.
You got like
I
4
got
in
these
there.
6s. 5 6s.
Nice.
Okay. And are these wounding on regular stuff?
Yep. Yeah, they would be wounding on their normal profile. So 4s on 4s, so 4s.
And then I get to re-roll one of these.
You get to reroll any 1s.
Any. Each time a unit with tactic is selected to shoot or fight, re-roll 1 wound roll.
Okay, so that's the wound roll. Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No.
Oh no, you wouldn't have rerolled. Well, you would have rerolled that one, but reroll another one because you have the lieutenant right there.
Okay.
Ah.
So I got 1 5, I got a 4.
1
2
5 and a 4. So
2 4s and a 5.
So 3 saves on my guys. I'm at -1. So I'm gonna try and plank it off on the
Sergeant.
Sergeant stuff. 3 ups. We pass them all.
Attaboy.
Yeah, Sergeant's got a storm shield, so he's too tough. Otherwise, it would have been 4s on my normal guys. So
Oh, flamer.
yeah, the flamer. Flamer is pistol, so it won't get an additional AP. But it will get a +1 to wound, I believe.
So D6 shots.
Yep.
That's 4 shots.
Nice. Wounding me on 4s. Because it's +1 to wound, because tactical docked.
2.
2. Normal on the sergeant. He loves it. He's too tough. All right, now we got to roll the big charge. We need a 9. Papa needs a new pair of 9s. Oh,
Nope.
It's 4. Spend it, Chris. We're gonna re-roll that one. Just 1 CP, please. It's a boxcars. Here we go. Rochambeau. Here we go. A bonk. A bonk. A bonk. This guy will have to go here. And yeah, there's nothing I can do about that. So,
You really want that lieutenant, don't you?
kind of, but you can't really interrupt, or you can't heroically intervene with him. So heroic interventions, which occur at the end of the charge phase, which it is now, you may select a model that has the character keyword. If there is an enemy model that completed a charge or is within 3, so you don't need to really complete a charge, like these guys are, he could move if he could. But because this is here, and we're playing it like a container, you can't move through containers like that, which is sad for him, but probably not, because I would try and shred the crap out of him. So if he wants to keep his characters alive, it's probably a good call for him. But now, he's got 2 CP left, and I've got a bunch of attacks to make. So I might have bitten off a little bit more than what I could chew, because I've got 2 combats going on here, and I really shouldn't. But we're here to learn. We're here to teach. We're here to grow.
No.
Oh, I know, right? Some leftist baloney agenda that I spout because I'm a big old leftist. So, moving on to the chaplain, because that's why we're here today. Remember when I said he was a beat stick? Well, he starts with 4 attacks. He gets one for his litany. He gets one for the shock assault. And he gets another one because of his relic. Or his warlord trait, sorry. Now, he'll be hitting you on 2s at strength 8. So he'll be wounding you on 3s. So, hitting on 2s. We miss one. Wounding him on 3s. 6s cause a mortal wound. And these will all be damage 4, but downgraded to damage 3 on him because he is a dreadnought. We get 1 mortal wound. That gets resolved at the end. But the rest, you now have to make 6 5-up saves. Because my hammer thing is AP2, and you got a 3-up armor save.
I got 1.
Huh?
I got 1 6.
1 6. So, he
2,
would
3,
take
4, 5.
15 damage.
What?
Yep. I made a beat stick, and I came to beat you. And then, so,
I think that might kill the dreadnought.
that should kill the dreadnought.
All right.
For
Wow,
people,
he just got one-shotted.
yes, he did. I told you I brought a beat stick. Will he get absolutely nuked by this intercessor squad that's coming for him? Probably. But that's what he came here to do. So he came here to find a big old dreadnought and just bonk him.
So he explodes, though, right?
Yep, on a roll of a 6. So you pick up 1d6 on a 6.
Nope.
That's a 1. So, my chaplain, my true champion,
So
has done
long,
it.
Brother Durang. We barely knew ye.
Yeah, he's get off my lawn. So, closest enemy model, I will consolidate. So I gotta just somehow end up close to him. He's screwed anyway. Moving on to these guys. Do you want to interrupt?
Would I have to spend a command point for that?
You would have to spend 2.
I only got 2.
But you could probably blunt these guys with your Thunderhammer if you start with them first, because you are +1 to wound because of your captain right there. And,
So if I did that interrupt,
yep.
would that mean I can move my models 3 inches?
So when you interrupt, you all of a sudden you get to fight with a unit after I have fought with a unit.
After.
So I've just fought with my chaplain. He can now interrupt with the stratagem. So he would select a unit that is currently engaged, which he only has 1 unit engaged, and that's those intercessors right there. So at this point, he spends the 2 CP. He now gets to fight with those intercessors. This is the counter-attack stratagem found in the big rule book everywhere. So this is a good way of getting guys out and kind of pushing your opponent back, trying to stop them from targeting or tying up other units. So, now, every model that is currently within a ½ inch of a ½ inch can swing if there's like multiple models, but typically you only have to be within 1 inch and 5 vertically to attack. But you still have to remain within coherency.
So that means I have to have little triangles of dudes.
If you had a line,
Like that, for example. Would that work?
a line of guys
To keep,
with like
to
an
keep the
1/8 of an
objective?
inch in between, so you'd be able to move this guy down because you're still technically moving closer, and this way you could push more guys forward as well,
But I want to stay on the objective.
and you would.
Okay.
Yeah, because you don't have to move every single model when you consolidate, but you just want to get more in there because
So would
there's
that
no.
be fair?
Oh yeah, that's completely legal.
Okay.
Yeah, because you still got 2 models, 2 models, 2 models. You're fine. It just comes down to when I swing back. So when I would swing back, you probably want to pull from the front because these guys are less important than these guys back here. So you should probably start with your big scary dude, your sergeant.
My Thunderhammer.
Yeah, because he could one-shot my sergeant, who has the only damage 2 weapon in that thing.
Okay, so that cost me 2 command points.
Yep.
So I'm out of command points now.
Yep. Is it hit or wound for your guy?
For what?
Yeah, it's wound. It's wound roll for salamanders.
Yeah.
They used to be able to reroll 1 hit and 1 wound, and that was just bonkers.
Each time unit tactic is selected to shoot or fight, you can reroll 1 wound roll.
Yep. It used to be the other way.
Okay. So the sergeant's going to attack with his hammer, which
Yep.
is on a 3-up,
Yeah.
and the Thunderhammer has,
It's times 2, AP 2, damage 3.
so he gets 1 hit.
Nope, he gets. How many attacks does he have in his profile up top? Now you can't split your attacks.
3. So 3 attacks?
Yeah,
That's
so
3A?
he would normally get 3 attacks, but because he was charged this turn, his what's it called? His shock assault ability goes off, so he
Okay.
gets an additional attack. So
So
he get
4
4
attacks.
attacks. So this is potentially bad for my guys, but because the hammer is -1, he's swinging on 4s to hit.
So I miss 1.
So it doesn't look like that mattered at all. So
So Thunderhammer is
times 2 for strength. So he'd be wounding me on 4s because he'd be strength 8 and I'm toughness 4.
I get to reroll 1 of those.
You get to re-roll it because of your lieutenant, actually. So he gets 3. So now, because I've got 1 storm shield in the squad that hasn't taken any damage yet, I'm going to have to roll these 1 at a time until I move to the next one. So this one, I'll be saving it on a 4. On a 4. On a 4. Oh, he dies. Do I have a command point left? I do. I'm going to re-roll that 1. Ah. No. He dies. Oh, wait. 6s. Yeah, he still dies. So now we're left with the rest of these guys. But we still have all the other attacks from that squad. So each guy with 2 base attacks gets an extra 1 because I charged them with all of my hubris. So he get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 guys there. Times 3, so 18 attacks. These guys back here are just a little bit too far away, but he's still got a good amount of guys attacking.
And these intercessors are hitting on 3s.
Hitting on 3s, wounding me on 4s. Actually, wounding me on 3s because of Agrax right
And
here.
I get to reroll once.
You get to reroll once to hit because of the captain here.
Okay, and I'm hitting on 3s.
And now you're wounding me hitting me on 3s. Yes.
Okay. let me
And
just
you'll be
pull
wounding me
those.
on 3s because of Agrax. Because he's a combat beast. And gee willikers, he came here to fight.
I get to reroll 1 of these.
Oh, did you already rerolled one of your wound rolls?
I did?
Yeah, for
Oh,
your
yeah,
hammer.
for him. Okay.
Yeah.
Forget that then. 2, 4, 5, 6.
So we got 6 saves to make on just normal 3-up armor saves. And we fail 1. That's all right. 6 up, feel no pain. Still takes it. So 1 guy will take a wound. Now I get to swing back with whomever I want, because that is that. So each guy gets 5 attacks base, or 2 attacks base, 2 for the claws, and 1 for shock assault. These guys are meant to be a blender, and they're coming to blend. So, sadly, we don't get to spend any command points on stratagems for these guys, because we want to keep our sergeant alive and do lots of damage with him. But, c'est la vie. So, hitting you on 3s, missing a couple of times. We don't have any support near him, so no rerolls, sadly. But these are lightning claws. So each lightning claw gets to reroll failed wound rolls.
Oof.
So, wounding you on 4s, because strength 4, toughness 4, and then re-rolling all of these. And that doesn't matter, but that's all right. We still cause 6 wounds at AP2. So that would decrease their armor save from a 3 up to a 5 up.
And I'll take all but 2.
So
3. I save 3. No, I save 2.
he saves 2. So that means 4 damage goes through.
Okay.
Because they're in single packets, so you lose 2 dudes.
So can I just pick like him and him?
So long as you could remain within coherency, absolutely.
So I'll lose him and him.
Yeah, because 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches. Yep.
So Battle
Yeah, you'd be
Brother Pirate and Battle Brother Tekel.
fine. Thing 1 and Thing 2, they're dead. We did it, everyone. Now, I'm not sure if this works. I'm just going to double check one thing. It's mainly for the Dreadnought. Now, in the 8th edition, when you charged, you were still allowed to act as if you could still pile in and consolidate, regardless of whether there was models there or not.
Aha.
It was just act as if you were charged. I think that has been done away with for the most part, but I'm just double checking.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's see what happened in chat.
Oh, absolutely. The chat's been on fire today. Those guys have been super happy.
Wow, 13 people.
13 whole people. Jeez Louise. Oh, wow. All right. So, an eligible unit. An eligible unit is one that is within, engagement range of an enemy unit and or made a charge move in that same turn. So, since he did make a charge move in that same turn, he can move up. So, he'll move up to 3, then move up the other 3. And that will end my turn. We've got to make a couple morale checks here. One on my, actually, they can't fail. His intercessors here cannot fail. And now we would move into Ara's second turn.
Here I am.
Hey, there's Ara, entering from stage this way.
So my turn now.
Yep,
Okay.
your turn now.
So I got 1 command point because the turn.
Yep, 1 command point.
So that's that.
You would get 5 for primary, because you currently hold that back objective here. But you do not hold more than me, because I hold this one and that
So
one.
I've got 5 victory points.
5 victory points to my 5 victory points.
Okay. So 5 victory points, and I just got 1 command point.
Yep,
Okay.
to my no command points.
I'm not going to do any command abilities.
Yep.
So here's a question.
Yeah,
Shooting.
absolutely.
These guys are currently engaged with these intercessors.
Absolutely.
Can my lieutenant shoot into that?
Nope.
And these aggressors can't shoot into there.
Nope. But these guys could shoot into these guys with their pistols.
Yeah.
However, you can fall back willingly. So these guys could just move off. They would count as a fallback move. You're not allowed to advance. You're not allowed to charge. You're not allowed to shoot after that. Generally, you're not allowed to perform actions, but it allows the rest of your army to tackle the unit that did put the hurt on you.
So if I pull these guys back,
Yep.
then I could shoot with these guys.
You could shoot with them, and you could charge with them. Yep.
Huh. And how far can I move or be in front of someone before I'm too
So
close?
you can be,
That's 3 inches right
you
there.
have to be outside of an inch. So it's a lot closer than AOS.
Yeah, because the AOS is 3 inches.
Yep.
So I can move these guys to be within an inch.
Yep.
And still shoot
Yep.
with their bolters.
Yep. And then you could charge if you wanted to.
Huh.
Yeah, so you could go up point blank volley. You could kill off my OBSEC guys right here, who are currently controlling that objective.
Yeah.
But if you got all 9 of those guys and just stood them there, typically, if we had the same model count and we both had OBSEC, it would be contested.
Yeah.
And that's model count, not objective secured model count. So the way that controlling objectives works now is by sheer amount of models on said objective. So when you have OBSEC, it just brings it to like a new rank. So you could have 1 tactical marine and like 10 Vanguard vets, and then you could have 11 gaunts on the same objective. So long as they're all on that objective would be contested because they're both OBSEC, but as soon as you hit OBSEC, you go down to model count again.
So the aggressors,
Yep.
they can't advance and shoot.
Yes, they can.
They can't?
Yep. The flamers are assault weapons.
Okay.
Yep.
So I think that's what I might do.
That's probably a good call.
They're going to advance.
Yep. They're going to advance to the big.
5.
Hell yeah, that's a big 10 inches right there. So that'll bring them up to probably about there. Hey, I know what 10 inches looks like. Hey,
8.
look at me go.
9. Well, that's actually 10 right there. That's 2 inches.
I wish I was, cool enough to have played Battlefleet Gothic. No, so I was a pseudo carpenter for a good 4 years. So I got very good at guessing my inches pretty quick. Because for whatever reason, no one likes using metric, even though it's better objectively. It just happens to be that all of our building systems, like 2x4s, is a kind of holdover from the old Imperial stuff. Because your standard 2x4 is, what was it? It was like 90 or 89 by 38 or something like that, millimeters. But it was like 3.5 inches by 2 3/4 or 2 or so. I can't remember. It's been so long since I saw a tool, except in the mirror. Oh God, that deprecating humor. But yeah.
They're going to fall back.
Yeah, that's right. You better run away.
So do I have to roll a d6 for
Nope.
it? It's move their movement.
You just move up to your total movement.
And intercessors can move 5, 6.
6, yep. So most things in Warhammer 40k move 6 if they got 2 legs. There's a few things that move faster or slower. Most Eldar will move 7. Tau, for the most part, moves 6. Kroot moves 7. And Gravis Armor moves 5.
And when they eventually release Primaris Centurions?
They'll move 3. Because I know in 8 they used to move 4. I don't really have any Centurions. I didn't like their look way back, and it's kind of grown on me over the past couple years, but I'm still like, yeah, take it or leave it.
Okay. I'm happy with that.
Yep.
These guys are going to move up.
All right. I'm going to get out of your way. Or actually, better yet, I'll just hold down that terrain for you.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, this way you can just kind of move them freely.
So they move 6.
Yep, 6. So you won't need that. It just so
Just
for
want
the
to make
most
sure,
part,
because like you got to cut corners, right? Like,
no. So you can Kool-Aid Man through the walls as infantry.
really?
Yep. You can move through it so long as your infantry, beasts, or swarms, if my memory serves me right. They're the only real things that can really benefit from light or dense cover.
That's half an inch right there. So if
So-
I go,
So I'm going to trust you to be like, yeah, Oh, so you have to be outside an inch of the
Oh,
guys.
1 inch.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you could pour out a bunch of guys. Like you can come out here, you can come out there, because you're gonna come out and charge, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So, for the most part, so long as you're like a cool player, and like you're not known for grossly abusing rules left, right, and center, most people in the Warhammer 40k kind of like community will understand when you're like, I intend to be outside of an inch, and you can show them that you can be, and you just kind of move all your models. Most people are pretty cool about it.
Okay.
Like, we're not we're not tabletop titans. My name's not Brian Pullen. That guy's friggin' genius. And I'm not Brian Siegler, another genius, or Nick Nadavati, all geniuses. I'm just Thomas. I'm just a casual player who knows lots.
Awesome.
And he's super modest all the time.
Let's go with combat or shooting now.
Yep. Oh,
So-
no, we can't skip phases. That's illegal.
Psychic phase.
Psychic phase.
I don't have any psychers.
Psychic phase is over.
So now we move into shooting phase.
Shooting!
So I'm going to move shooting from here to here.
All right, cool.
So starting with the aggressors,
Yep.
everything into there.
Hell yeah.
So that's going to be 6 Flamestorm gauntlets.
Yep.
I don't have enough command points to do the
Flamecraft.
Flamecraft.
Yep.
So that's going to be that
Should be
many
a-
shots.
Should be a bunch of shots. So now we start counting.
5, 10, 15, 21, 24.
So 24 shots into my 4-man squad of Vanguard vets. I mean, paint to model syndrome. I painted this guy up today. He looks pretty rad, but he's dead now. So like that, we leave him in the past. So these guys will be wounding me on 3s because of their super doctrine, which adds +1 to wound to both Melta and Flamer weapons, which these guys have. Re-rolling 1 failed wound roll. Sadly, he can't re-roll any of his ones because his lieutenant is way out of 6 inches. So, pulling out all the 1s and 2s and just picking 1 dice that, you know, he looks at and is like, this is my favorite now.
This is my favorite now.
Hell yeah!
It's a 2.
It rolled a 2. It is now his least favorite
So-
dice.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15.
All right, so I got 15 4-ups to make. Not unheard of for the people at home that know me particularly well. I've done this before. So 15, 14, 15. So rolling the dice. Oh dear. Oh nose. We fail approximately 8, which is enough for the unit. But yeah, that's the unit. Didn't roll a single 6.
Oh, man.
My 6s today have abandoned me.
I didn't even get a chance to roll with Malleus Noctum or...
That's what he gets for being too good. So, now we move on to those guys over there. What do they want to do?
So, I'm going to put the flamer and the grenade launcher into him.
All right, you can do that.
And then I'm going to do all bolt rifles into him. Into the...
To the dreadnought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once they're dead from that barrage,
Oh, wow. Look at the confidence on this guy.
I'm
oh,
gonna
once
put.
they're
I'm
dead,
gonna charge. I'm
pound
gonna charge
salt.
your other unit.
So first off, he's not going to do it. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so starting with the grenade launcher, crack grenade,
Yep. Can he hit me first?
and that's 1 shot.
1 shot.
That's gonna be a 2.
That's a miss.
Um,
And now the flamer.
now the flamer,
Can I get enough hits?
D6, 1.
That's 1 shot.
Boo.
He could use the CP, but that'd probably be a bad call.
Yeah, it would be a bad call.
Actually, yeah. That's all ugly. 2 shots. 2 shots from the 1 CP. That was some bad coaching on my part.
So I got no command points now,
Yay!
and I'm gonna be wounding you on 3s. No,
Force.
Force.
Yeah. +1.
So 1 hits.
1 wound. All
Do
right.
I wanna use this for the reroll for the unit?
I mean,
Okay, well that said,
yeah, it looks like you're re-rolling it.
I'm re-rolling it and I get a 3.
He gets a 3. Doesn't go through. The wound, however, does go through on my chaplain, who does save it on a 6.
Boom.
So he's too tough. Now let's see if your bolters can do what you said they were going to do, because so far it's not looking too good for Team Green.
Assault 3, so that's gonna be
27.
27 shots.
Quick math. Not always right, but it's
2,
quick.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
I'm gonna get myself a little sip of the old clear.
So these are strength 4, and on your dreadnought,
Who is toughness 7.
ooh, so it's gonna be like a 5 up.
Yep.
One, 2,
Because my dreadnought is too tough. Historically, they're my favorite unit.
4, 5,
My competitive list has like
7.
5 dreadnoughts. Is it good? I don't know. But we might find out on this channel, or in the coming months, as restrictions allow.
So it's 9 hits, or sorry, 9 wounds.
9 wounds, you say?
Yeah, 9 wounds.
9 wounds.
Did I miss the hit roll there, or did I miss the wound roll? I rolled 27 dice. 9 hits.
You got 9 hits on 27 dice.
Yeah.
Hitting on. Oh, you.
Oh no, I wounded you 9 times.
You wounded me 9 times. All right,
Yeah.
we're gonna just. So, good wound roll. Good wound roll. Jesus. No. All at -1. I drop 6. 6 up, feel no pains. I actually only dropped 4. So, he now has 4 wounds remaining. And we'll throw the dice right on top of him because it's super cool.
Charge.
All right, he's charging me. I can't overwatch, so he's coming in.
8.
But first, important thing about charges. So you can declare multiple units as the thing of a charge. However, you need to make every single charge.
Okay.
So let's say these guys were a little bit further apart. Let's say these guys were like 6 inches back, this guy was 5, and this guy was like 2. If our friend here only rolled like a 5 and could only make it to these guys, the charge would still fail because he wasn't able to make every single charge move.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, because he rolled a 6 and they're all like an inch away, he made it.
8.
I stand corrected. He rolled even better. So now he's got room to make it, but he still has to engage every single model that he declared. Or every single unit that he declared. Thank you for allowing me to correct myself, chat. And how's it going in the chat while our buddies are doing stuff?
I have to refresh the page.
Ah, I've lost all the stuff.
Ian says kill those Marines.
No, don't. Well, unless he's telling me to kill him, I'll kill him.
Okay, so now that I've charged,
Yes.
I'm going to declare who's going to attack who.
Yep. So you'd pick like a couple units to choose who's gonna go,
So I'm going to put
or pick models.
these 4
Yep.
into him,
Yep.
him into your dreadnought,
Yep.
and then these guys
Those 5
into there.
All right. So in what order do you want to do it? It doesn't really matter. I like to build up to a title fight, personally, because I find it's just so cool. And, well, depending on where you want to use your reroll to
Okay.
wound.
So
So I can't interrupt.
you can't interrupt. So do I resolve all my attack rolls now against the units I just declared?
Yep.
Okay.
You'd split up your attacks, and just like shooting, you'd resolve it.
Okay.
It all happens simultaneously. So if let's say you put like 6 guys into one model, and you killed it with only like 2 guys, those other 4 would they'd still be spent
Okay.
because they'd be helping their bros.
That's just like AOS.
Yep.
So I'll start over here because I really want to focus on that.
You're not gonna kill him.
We'll see about that.
You've heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. He is not going to kill my chaplain.
Starting with a thunder hammer.
Piss. Oh, no.
So he's got 3 attacks with the thunder hammer.
Yep, 4 because he charged.
4 because he charged.
Yep. So, hitting me on 4s.
Because it's -1 to hit.
Yep. It's a hard weapon to wield, but when it connects, whoop, baby.
And I'm hitting you on 4s.
Hitting me on 4s. So, he's got to hit me first.
2 hits.
All right. Now, wounding me on 2s.
Oh, no!
But he gets to reroll 1 dice.
6.
It's a 6. Now, on a 4-up, I will save that Thunderhammer hit. It's a 3. I take 3 damage. 6 is to save. I stop 1. He still has 3 wounds remaining.
And
now,
then-
your other 3 guys will have to go in and try and hurt me.
So they've got 3 attacks each.
Yep.
No,
They will
2 attacks each.
2 base, 3 for charging.
3 for charging.
Yep. So it'll be 9 attacks going into him. So on average, it's 3.
Hitting on 3s.
Yep. Chances are my chaplain will live.
Okay, and then wounding you on
4s.
4s. So it's going to be 1.
Only 1. The chaplain lives, everyone. He takes it, but he still lives. Still down to 2 wounds remaining. He's going to clean through that squad.
We'll see.
All right.
So then the 1 into the dreadnought,
Yep.
hitting you on a 4 and a 5.
Yep.
So wounding on 4 and a 3.
So no wounds.
No wounds.
'Cause
Toughness is way too high.
toughness is way too high.
Remaining 5.
Into the tactical squad.
So 3, 4, 5. Hitting you on 3s. And these guys are wounding on 3s?
Should be 4s, because it's strength 4, toughness 4.
Yeah, right. So on 4s, that means that one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All right. 6 wounds, 1 for everyone in the squad. We fail 1. It's bad news. But I don't fail it. Oh, it's been tragic for our buddy here. He's beat up my Primaris chaplain, but oh boy, we're coming back swinging. So, because I like a good title fight, we're going to build up to the title fight. So, starting with the 2 guys with rifle butts in the tactical squad, everything's going into your intercessor squad. So, rifle butts, we hit you twice. We wound you none. Moving on to the Dreadnought. He's got 5 attacks base, 6 because he charged me. Hitting you on 3s, wounding you on 2s because I'm strength 12.
1s.
Yeah, that fist. You're not the only one with a squishy claw. So that's 5 at a very, very cool -3.
Oof.
And each one is 3 damage, so it will just crush a dude.
So that's 6
to
to save. 3 at 6 to save.
Yep. 6s to save.
Nope.
2 more, please.
Oh, yeah.
I'll just
Save
do-
1.
All right, so he takes 4 guys. 4 guys just die, and that he can take these from anywhere he wants.
Three guys? 4 guys.
4 guys. So now the chaplain will go, because here's the title fight. Ah!
Miss.
He hit you. He hit you 6 times out of 6, and now he's wounding you on 3s because he's only strength 7 because you came to my town. So you'll have to do 6 saves on 5 ups, And then after that, you'll take 2 mortal wounds. And each one of these is 4 damage. So it'll just absolutely vaporize.
So I saved 2.
So that will be 4 guys dead.
Okay.
And then after that, there will be 2 mortal wounds being dispensed into the squad. So a 5th guy will die.
So 2, 3, 4, 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that.
So, what have we learned? We learned that the chaplain is too good for this beginner game.
He's carrying it here.
He is very much carrying it
He's the MVP so far.
so far.
Okay.
So now, morale.
Morale. Leadership 7.
If you left the sergeant, he should still be leadership 8.
Leadership 8.
You lost 8 guys.
Okay.
So on a 1, the squad's fine.
4.
So 1 guy runs. And now we roll what's called an attrition check. So on a 1, a model would flee. And when you're below half on a 1 or a 2, a model would flee. But he's rolled a 1. What I was going to say after that is Space Marines typically ignore modifiers, so I don't believe the 2 makes them flee. But because he rolled a 1 anyway, Gary, the Salamander.
Sugan.
Gary, the Salamander.
Sergeant Sugan.
Sergeant Gary, the Salamander, runs away. Now, thus leaving my guys free. So, now we start
Turn 3.
turn 3. Well, I was not expecting it to go this well, but here we are. Starting my command phase. I get a command point. Hooray! It's there. I really like seeing the delay on Twitch. Oh, it's cool. I get to see my lanky ass arms just move around. So, that's been resolved. We'll see if the chaplain can continue chaplaining it up. He rolled a 1, so he's not getting his mantra of strength anymore. Oh yes, I would get 10 points for my primary as I hold 1 and I hold 2. But alas, do not hold more. So, now we gotta find out what we're gonna do. I think we're just gonna have to slingshot from combat to combat and just try and do what we can. So, we're gonna go right into movement. So, we're gonna move this chaplain normally, and we're gonna put him right there. Zoop. He's gonna go there. The dreadnought is gonna follow in his footsteps. I probably moved him a little bit too far. Bonk. Thus giving me a cool 4-inch charge. These guys gonna go up. Actually, they were back here. Let's see, 6 inches? Yeah, bring them up here. And then that should give me a nice little firing lane over there. This guy is gonna kind of come over here. And then these guys, just gonna peek around the corner a little bit. Just try and put shots downrange onto these boys over here. Okay, so psychic phase, or sorry, movement phase is done. Psychic phase. We are gonna cast Psychic Fortress on a 6, goes off on a 6. We're now going to cast Smite, the prettiest of smites, goes off on an 8. The closest unit is obviously the aggressors, because these guys are way the hell out. And I will cause 1 mortal wound to these guys.
I think they only have 3 wounds, don't they?
Yes, they do.
So then I drop 1.
Bonk.
So that's Brother Sugar.
We got rid of Sugar. Sugar Daddy, the Magnificent. And am I making up names? Absolutely. Why? Because it gets under his skin. For the purpose of turn 3, we are going to remain in tactical, just because it's easier.
Oh, I totally forgot what the doctrines.
It's all good. I was trying to help you remember them with the APs and stuff. For the most part, my bolter weapons don't really affect you because I bump up to like AP 1. But since I can't really ignore that, or since you ignore AP 1, it doesn't really matter too much for me. So, moving on to my most valuable heavy weapon right here, my sniper boy. We're going to put it into the aggressors. Can we do it? We hit you on a 5. We'll wound you on a 4. We get a 5. So that's 1 wound at AP 2. Flat 2 damage.
And they're saving on a 3, so it goes to a 5.
Yep.
So 1 at 5.
1 at 5.
Take it.
Takes 2 damage, please. So he'll be down to 1 wound remaining. At this point, we will move over to the librarian, who's got a bolt pistol, and he will shoot his bolt pistol into these guys. So 1 shot, hits on a 5, wounds on a 6, marked for death, good sir.
AP?
Nothing.
3 up.
We did it, ladies and gentlemen. We did it.
Brother Sewell.
Old librarian yet to be named because his legend's being forged right now. Turns his pistol sideways, goes for the kill shot. Kablamo! Sinks a great big Gravis aggressor fat boy McThick down into the earth. And now moving on to the next unit. The intercessors are going to shoot into these guys. We're going to start with the grenade launcher. Crack grenade, hitting on a 4, hits. Wounding on a 3, will wound on a 3. AP 2, because it's tactical doctrine. So on a 5, you save it.
4.
D3 damage for 1. We're not going to spend the command point on that one, because we kind of want to save it for charges if we need it. So now the rest of the guns, we got 3, 4, and 5. Everyone should still be in range, as that should be about 24 inches. Yeah, everyone's in. So, 15 shots, hitting on 3s because I didn't advance. I only moved. We miss an average amount of times. Now wounding you on 5s. You ignore the first point of AP, so it's kind of moot, but we're hoping to drown you in saves, and drown you in saves we will. 5. No AP as far as you're concerned.
3 up. Take 1.
We got him. He's only got 1 wound remaining. So that's pretty handy. So now we're going to move over to these guys here. We got 2 plasmas. These guys will overcharge. So because on vehicles it's just a mortal wound, on infantry it generally just kills the dude. So overcharging with the normal dude first. He rolls a 1, so he will die, but that's after his shots are resolved. Onto the sergeant. He will miss both times and will die. And the 1, we get 1 at -4 on his Primaris boys over here.
-4.
-4.
So I can't save that.
If you could save it on a d6 roll of 7, you could.
Nope.
No 7 pip roll on the old d6.
Not on these
Yeah.
guys. Not,
So
not Skaven.
So that'll be 2 damage. So that will just nuke a dude. So next up,
Brother
will be
Rain.
the Absolver
Barely
bolt
knew
pistol from the chaplain. Strength 5, AP 1, -2 damage. So he hits on a 6. He wounds on a 6. AP 1 doesn't really matter to Sally, so it'll be a straight 3-up save for him.
5.
He's too tough. Moving on to the big guy, the Dreadnought. We'll start with the Heavy Flamer. Gets the big 4 shots. Wounding you on 3s. We get 4 wounds. AP 1, but you don't care, so it's AP none.
So on my intercessors, that's
Yep.
going to be 3 up.
Exactly.
I'll take 1.
All right, 1 damage ekes through. Next up will be the Assault Cannon. Hitting you on 3s. We get 4 hits. Wounding him on 3s again. We get 4 wounds. Can we kill another intercessor?
AP.
AP -1, but you don't care.
3 ups.
Ooh.
Take 2.
Drops 2. So One guy will die, and the wound will just kind of transfer on over because they're in packets of 1 damage.
Brother Dirain.
Brother Duran is gone. I wish I knew more Duran songs. I'd probably have more jokes. Okay, that is it for shooting, as everyone
in the
has
grim dark
shot.
of the future, there's only shitty jokes.
Oh, there is. There's so many bad jokes. So, Chaplain Gorlock, because that's his name, is going to charge into Bruce Kandar there. Not Brother Kandar. And Shigars. So he's charging the Intercessor squad here. Needs like a 4 or something. He gets a 4. Yeah, look at that. Needs a 4. Look at that.
You're in.
Whoop. I'm in. Just put it right there. The Dreadnought's going to try and do it. He's going to need a lot more. I think he's probably going to need about a 7 or 8.
5.
That one's out. So we got a 3 and a... That's a 9.
You're in.
Oh, brother, here I come. I'm so mad at you. All right.
So can I spend a point to intervene?
Interrupt?
Yeah.
No, it's 2 CP to interrupt.
Okay, I only have 0.
So, yeah, in the later parts of the game, it gets a little thirsty.
Yeah.
A lot of people play. That's why when we do get up to like our 2,000 points or anything above 1,000, we'll have like 12 command points, and you'll see like, holy crap, this is a lot.
Yeah.
There's been games where I've ended with like 5, and I'm just like, this is a lot. I'm not playing this game well. I've got to spend more CP. So, you know what? We'll go for broke because we know we can't really interrupt. We're going to Kool-Aid Man into this guy. We'll need about a 9 to get into him because of the barrels. So we're going to charge in. Did we get a big 9? We get a 9. I don't know how we got a 9, but we got one. So the Librarian, champion after my heart, we'll just put him there. We'll build up to the title fight. So we'll start with the Primaris Librarian, because you know what? He is freshly painted today, and there is no way that he could disappoint me right now. Famous last words, everyone. You can't see me, but I'm smiling hard. So hitting him on 3s. We dropped 2, but that's okay. Wounding you on 4s. We got 1 wound. AP 3.
6 up.
6 up.
3.
All right, D3 damage. We get the big 1, but that's enough to put down that aggressor.
Sergeant Amphel.
Sergeant Infill is out. So we will start with the... We'll start with the Dreadnought. So he's got 6 attacks on the charge, hitting him on 3s. We dropped 3, but that's okay. He's like one of the first models I painted in this army, and this army's like 4 years old. He gets 2 wounds at AP 3.
So I'm on a 6 up.
Yep.
Say 1, take 1.
Hey! Flat 3 damage, just crushes a dude.
So that's that guy dead.
Yeah. So now the chaplain's coming in. He didn't get Mantra of Strength off, so
Brother
he's only
Zendi.
got... Sorry?
Brother Zendi.
Brother... Yeah, Zendi's a good name. Yes, I wasn't quick enough to come up with a joke. At me in the chat if you're upset. So 4 attacks base on the chaplain, 1 for charging, and 1 for Imperium's sword. Mantra of Strength didn't go off,
So you resolve the charges first, and then it goes into like regular combat.
Yes, so everything that charged, unless you have a fight first kind of
Yeah.
rule, it will start with the player whose turn it is until it goes after all those charged units. And then it starts with the player who's currently in combat.
Because in AOS, you go charge phase.
Yeah.
Everyone charges, then you activate a unit.
Yep.
And then you activate a unit. Then I activate, then you activate, then I activate, then you activate. Back and forth.
So typically, if we had a bunch of ongoing combats, we would alternate.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But we start with charges first.
yes. Yeah, it's to kind of give more advantage to units that did charge.
Okay.
Just because there are so many little units here and there that do quite a bit of damage at range. Mm-hmm. They kind of want to give advantage to units that do
It moves
charge.
quicker. I feel like compared to AOS, it makes you think a bit more tactically.
This is also half the points that most people usually play.
Okay. Yeah.
So like it does get a lot more tactically. There are a bunch of cool little things that you can do in this game. But this is your first game.
Yeah.
Like you're getting the reps in. And anyone who says that you learn best by just getting absolutely trounced every time, you're wrong. You got to get the reps in.
Yep.
Yeah. So 6 attacks. I missed twice.
Whee.
I'm probably not going to wipe the unit, given that they've only got 4 wounds and there's 5 guys. There are 4 wounds, though, and a mortal wound afterwards. So on 5s, you save them, and I believe there's still 3 damage flat.
So 5 up.
Yep.
I'll save 2.
Hey! So 2 guys go down, and then there's a mortal wound just assigned to whoever you like. It'll most likely be the guy that takes the next bit of damage.
Yep.
So that's it for my charged units. We now move on over to
The combat.
Era's currently engaged units, which there is one. These boys.
So
So you're gonna take down the Dreadnought? I wouldn't have based him, so he can still kind of move his units out and attack other units.
I can move these guys,
Yep.
consolidate around.
Yeah, so you'd be able to get within ½ inch of this guy right here, which would allow that hammer to go and swing at my chaplain. Because you only need to be within ½ inch of a model that is within ½ an inch of an engaged thing.
Okay. So I can go like that, for example.
Yep, but if, let's say this guy was within ½ inch of this guy and this guy, he could
Choose which one he wants to attack.
split his attacks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you can split your attacks in melee for, what's it called? 40k.
Okay.
Just so it's, because there are some big money-making units, like Demon Princes or Knights, so you do get to split your attacks. You just have to be like, you have to declare it like early on. You can't like half attack. So if like, let's say your great big Stompy dude generates like 15 attacks from 5, you'd have to assign like the right amount of attacks to each squad. So you'd be like, I'm putting 2, which multiplies into 6, and I'm putting in the 3, which multiplies into 9, into this squad and that squad. You wouldn't be able to go like 8 and 7, because that would
Gotcha.
be technically illegal.
Okay. So,
So with this right here,
and I can't sneak him in.
no, because that would have been a heroic intervention that would have happened earlier.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So Thunderhammer, 3 attacks, hitting you on 4s.
And I don't believe the heroic intervention was an option, as you had guys in the way, and you can't really
Yeah.
move through your own units
Okay,
unless you fly.
Okay.
That only happens in the movement phase and the charge phase.
gotcha. Okay, so Thunderhammer hitting you on 4s.
Yep.
1 hit.
You get an extra attack because I charged you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's 2. I get to re-roll one of those hits.
No. He allows you to re-roll 2 wound rolls of 1.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I got a 1. So I
got
get to re-roll.
Oh,
no, sorry.
That's a hit. You're at the hit roll phase.
Oh, yeah, okay, I meant the hit phase. So
So you only got 2 hits.
2 hits,
Wounding on 2s.
both go through.
So you got 2, and this is both into the chaplain. Can he bring him down?
AP 2.
I fail 1. I'm not gonna. I do spend my CP here. I pass it on a 6. So a 4 and a 6, he takes no damage. The legend of the chaplain continues.
How dare you?
How dare I indeed? At me in the chat if you think I'm being a dick.
So the other intercessors into the Dreadnought.
Yep, 6 attacks in total.
Got it.
Hell yeah.
Hitting you on 3s.
Yep.
So,
The 1s and 2s. Thank you.
and wounding you on, because of strength.
Ian, you can go away.
So strength is 4. His toughness is.
7.
So that means I'm wounding you on
5s.
5s.
Yep.
Okay, I'm getting the hang of this.
Hey.
So 1. Oh, I get to reroll 1 wound roll.
Yeah, you get to re-roll your 1s and an additional 1. So you pick up another dice and roll it away.
Nothing.
So we get 1, 3 up. He does fail it. Yep, goes through.
9 damage.
No, it isn't. You filthy liar.
It's an adamantium gun butt.
It's adamantium gun butt in my butt. So, he's down one more. Down to 3. So, that's it for the phase.
Leadership.
Yeah, leadership on your guys there.
So I have a lieutenant right there. Can he do
don't-
something heroic to protect?
So I don't believe you can confer your leadership onto them.
Okay.
And you're only leadership 8 anyway. And your sergeant there is leadership 8. So you lost 7 guys. No, you would have lost 6. So on a 1 or a 2, you pass. Hey, you roll a 1. Too brave.
And they shall know no fear.
And they know none of it. So, at the start...
But joke's on you,
What?
because I don't have to roll leadership for my aggressors because they're not dead.
Ha! You don't need leadership when you're 6 feet under. Hey.
Into my turn?
Yes, it is your turn. Start of your turn 3. So,
I get 1 command point.
1 command point, bringing you up to...
1 command point.
Hooray!
And then I've got nothing to do in the command phase.
Not really, no. He is just...
Nope.
I'd give it to you that, that guy accidentally got bumped off that objective.
Okay, so then I get the 5 points for this.
Yep, you get 5 points for that.
Okay, so I got five points.
5 points for Gryffindor.
So the smart thing to do would be to fall these guys back so I can shoot into them.
No.
No?
The smart thing to do, if you were trying to clear out this area, is bring this guy up to gank him. Bring this guy around to kill the chaplain.
So-
Because that guy has a Mastercraft Power Sword with 2 damage, and my chaplain only has 2 wounds left. So all he needs is 1 lucky one to get in. And
So-
he's got like 4 attack space, 5 on the charge.
So how does it work if I want to move my models around? Like, once they're here, like, can I shift them around if they're engaged?
So the rules as they are is when you pile in or consolidate, you must move closer. You must finish your move closer to the nearest enemy model.
Okay.
So if you are base to base, you cannot move because you are technically close, the closest you can be. The only way you could move in the movement phase with these guys
Fall
is
back?
to fall back.
So it would be wise to fall back with these guys, then take the objective, and then move him up to deal with your chaplain.
Kind of. Oh yeah, these guys are dead, by the way. And that guy. Does he still live? I forgot about this, chat. I forgot about my tactical marines. They might have died. 7. He's fine.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, but if I want to keep this objective, but yet put damage on these dudes,
You would
I
have
want
to
to pull
fall.
these guys back,
Yeah, you'd
move
have
him up to attack either one.
You'd want this guy to attack him, and this guy to attack him, just based off the Dreadnought's damage reduction abilities,
Yeah.
because they subtract 1 from every damage. And
This guy's also a tank, so I think
Oh,
it'd
I
be
know.
better off to have him move up and take this objective.
the only problem is, this guy will ruin your life.
We'll see about that.
He's also a character.
We'll see about that.
He can heroically intervene.
We'll see about that.
We will see about that, chat. Let us know what happens next.
Okay.
Next episode, everybody.
And, well, now it happens.
Now it happens. So the intercessors will be falling back onto the objective. They can move their full 6. So that'll put them practically smack dab center of that objective. And that will really help our boy over here kind of
He
stay in
could
the
move.
game.
He can move, like, within half an inch.
If I were you, I'd bring him over here.
Why is that? To keep the Redemptor out, or the Dreadnought out.
Yeah, you want to try and keep the Dreadnought out as best you can. So you'd move your 6, and then you'd be like an inch away from the chaplain. Because you kind of want to play mind games a little bit.
So can I...
Ooh, and that's actually another good point. Because you could use him to shoot him off that objective. Thus, rendering me only having 5.
See, that's what I was thinking, is that I could
Yeah.
shoot that dude,
Yep.
pull him up so I'm within charge range, shoot here, charge there.
Oh, because he has a melta, right? Or is it a flamer?
He has Dracus,
Dracus?
flame pistol,
Wow.
and Malleus knocked him, the hammer,
Wow.
which is what I'm going to do. So that's that.
You know who names their weapons?
Winners.
No. The Hound had a very good term for it, but I'm trying to keep it PG as best I can.
The answer is winners.
No, the answer is losers, and they end up dead, choking on their blood. So, do what you will. I stand unafraid.
Okay, shooting with the Neo-Volkite pistol.
Did you want to be in tactical doctrine, or did you want to be in assault? It's not really gonna matter. It'll help you with your. It'll help give this guy like a -1 on his pistol, and if that matters for this guy's weapon, it'll give you a -1 on your pistol. Given that you don't really have much shooting, it's probably your best bet.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll go
All
into
right.
tactical
You heard it here first. He's in the assault doctrine.
or assault. Yeah.
Unless you really wanted that +1 wound on it. Because what's the...
The hammer is brutal, but it's hard to hit with.
Well, it's more of like, what are his weapon profiles?
Right there.
Just scroll on. So, yeah. Damage 4. Oh, that would just bonk that guy.
But I want to shoot him with the pistol.
Go up to Dracus.
Shoot him with the pistol.
Oh, it's assault. Oh. That's annoying. At that point, what's more important? You burning this guy off? Because you'll take this objective, guaranteed. You should be able to kill him. But it's just like...
I'll play it like that.
Okay.
Let's see how this works out. So
We'll see how
shooting
good
here,
my coaching goes.
Shooting here. These guys already moved.
Yep.
So I was going to shoot there, shoot here.
Yep.
No, shoot here.
Yeah.
And then charge.
Yep.
Okay.
So, the 2 Volkite shots.
Starting with a Neo-Volkite pistol.
Yep.
Oops, that's aggressor squad.
And we are in Assault Doctrine, so we'll be getting that extra AP. The,
Neo-Volkite pistol, pistol 2. 6 are mortal wounds. And I'm hitting on a 2 up.
all right.
4. So that's 1 hit.
1 hit.
And wounding you on, because the strength is
Strength is 5, I believe.
5.
Yeah.
And your toughness is?
4.
So I'm hitting you on,
Putting me on a 3.
wounding you on a 3. 3.
This is a big 3. AP.
No AP.
Are we in the Assault Doctrine?
We are.
All right, so it's AP 1. On a 4. I rolled a 4.
No!
Haha! The dice gods are against thee.
Okay, Dracus is going to shoot at your Dreadnought.
My bread knot.
So assault D6.
Gets the big 2.
I'll spend a command point to reroll that.
All right, his
I'm
1
down to
command point
0
being
command points.
spent.
Ah, that's better.
Ah! Who? Ian should shut his mouth because I'm currently doing his job. He was supposed to be here, not me.
So Dracus automatically hits.
Yep.
Wounding score is
So, he'll
so
be-
strength is 4, and your
toughness is 7. So he'll be wounding me on 5s.
okay. So it's going to be 4
All right.
at AP 2. It's AP 1 plus I've got the.
Oh, that's only a pistol.
Oh yeah, okay, you're right.
Ooh. We'll say you,
Well,
you
it's not.
stayed in
It's
the
not.
tactical.
It's not a pistol.
We'll say you stayed in the tactical because it doesn't really matter for here.
Okay.
And it will matter for this. So -2. I got 4, you said? Oh, and it would also been a +1 to wound. So if you could re-roll that wound roll again, because I think we forgot everything. So wounding me on 4s and re-rolling 1.
The ones I get you a 3.
Re-rolling 1 of those dice because you wound roll for
yeah.
salamanders. So 3. 1 for each one he's got. So he just needs to make all of them. Piss. He's failed all of them. 6 is to stay alive. He makes 1.
Oh.
Ooh, down from 3 to 1. Oh, Big Red's big and mad.
Charging.
All right, so
Charging over here first.
all right, into the Psyker. Oh, he does it with gusto. The big 8 into the as to be named Primaris boy.
Over here.
And now here's a cool thing. So you want to stay out of engagement range or 3 inches of this guy because he will try and get you. So you don't want to get too close because then I can get you. So you'd want to be just within. So currently you're within an inch, so you're in engagement range. But you'd want to just push it to the very limit, the absolute very limit. So you're like 0.9999 away. This way, when I try and intervene, I can't actually get to you. Yeah. So movement shenanigans, movement hacks. You got to be aware of, angry characters, because if I intervene into him, he can attack me, but conversely, I can just destroy his life.
Gotcha.
So now he's got 2 combats going on. I have 1 command point. I can't interrupt. What? What the horse apples is this? I've got no command points. I lied to everyone.
So
I've got no command points.
So 5 attacks. I charged you. I get +1 attack.
+1 attack. That is correct.
And this is going to be hitting you.
Hitting me on 3s, I believe.
Yep. 2
Because-
for the weapon score, and it's -1 to hit. Because it's
Let's go down to your hammer. Yep. -1 to hit. Strength times 2, so strength 8.
So 3.
So he'll be hitting me on 3s. No re-rolls because his Captain Aura only affects core.
And then wounding you because the strength is
Oh, strength is like a
8.
Yeah, so strength 8 on toughness 4. So he's looking for 2s and he gets 1 re-roll because he's salamanders. And that
All 4 will go through.
is 4.
So that's going to be AP -3.
Yeah, AP -3. So normally I'd have a 6-up save, but because I got Psychic Fortress off in the turn prior, I do have a 5-up invulnerable. So hopefully I can make all 4 of these, or at least 3, or else he dies. I've made 2. So I will now take how much damage?
4 per.
So 8 damage in total. So I need to make about like 4 6s. I don't. So he dies. The Primaris Librarian has done his work, but he has died. So now we move on to Lieutenant Dan over here. I can't read. That's just the theme. I just can't read.
It's Lieutenant Schulte.
It's Lieutenant Dan. You've heard it here first, and I wouldn't lie to you. So,
Okay.
there can be more than one Lieutenant Dan, producer Chris.
So 4 attacks +1 because I charged.
Yep.
And
You'll be
my
You'll be hitting me on 2s
2s.
with him.
So
He drops 1 down to 4.
and
And
then
you should be strength 5 because Power Sword's got a little bump along with Mastercrafted Power
the
Swords.
strength +1. Yeah, so it's 5.
So strength 5,
To
hitting
your-
me on 3s.
I'll re-roll that 1.
Yep.
So 4 at AP
-3.
3.
So I've got a Rosarius, which gives me a 4-up invulnerable. Most chaplains have it. So I do fail 2. I'm going to need 3 6s here. I don't make any of them. So the chaplain and his parade of slaughter
Comes to
ends.
a violent end.
And now there were just a few little soldiers left on the table.
Okay.
So, start of my turn 4.
Nice.
We don't have any morales to make at the end of his turn. So, start of my turn 4, I get a command point. I've lost all my cool command abilities. So, I'm now just going to have to punch out God. Yeah, absolutely. See you in a... Don't forget to turn off your mic. I don't want to hear no poop sounds. So, we now got... Huh? Oh, yes, I get 10 points. I get 10 points. And now, I will begin the one-man show of doing stuff. So, I think we're just gonna have to push and just kind of kill his, just slow his ability to push me out of this game. So, I think we have to. Oh, this is tough. This is tough. This is tough. So, this guy will move back here. These guys are now going to have to deal with this guy on there, but that's okay. This guy's going to just get a little closer, get up and personal. Turn 4, we have to be in the assault doctrine now, so we're just going to have to go full ham, no half hams here. And thank you. Yes, we will be charging, as you can clearly tell. Maybe not in this front view, but from if we go to the top view quite quickly, you'll have a quick state of the game if producer Chris wants to just slowly go there. So I'll just kind of go over what we got here. So we've got the captain over here, the salamander captain. We've got the lieutenant right over here. We've got my dreadnought with 1 wound left. We've got 3 intercessors here. We've got 1 tactical dude tucked away there. We've got the last eliminator still holding the fort up there. And then we've got 5 intercessors right there. Just kind of holding stuff down. That's just kind of what we've got right now. I'm actually at the end of my movement phase right now. Might as well be the end of my psychic phase. If producer Chris wants to switch to the other view, I think we can get going again. Era's back from his poop, so we can get rolling dice for you ladies and gentlemen back at home. Starting with the Incriminator, the Eliminator. Right into Captain Agatone, Agrax Earthshade as he's better known. We're going to shoot 1 round into him. Because he is behind these barrels, he is now -1 to hit and gets the light cover bonus. That Eliminator will miss. The next up thing we will do is the Intercessors into him as well. We're just trying to plink wounds off of him, make him less effective. So, starting with the auto bolt rifles. Chuck, chuck, chuck. Throw some dice. -1 to hit, because you're hidden behind all those barrels, you sneaky, sneaky, sneaky person. Who do you think you are, Raven Guard? At that point, you'd probably be the best Raven Guard player I know. Take that, Ian. We get only 3 wounds on a bunch of dice, so no AP. I think you get 2 ups.
I do.
Yeah, so 3 dice.
Save them all.
Pass them all. The crack grenade hitting on a 6, wounding on a 3. It'd still be a 2 up because you're in cover. Too tough, too tough. Moving on to the Dreadnought here. He's going to dump everything he can into the Intercessor squad on the objective. Starting with the Heavy Flamer, getting 5. Ooh. Wounding on 3s.
So you didn't move with them at all, hey?
Huh?
You didn't move with them at all.
No, I moved him up here.
Oh, okay.
He's coming. He's coming for that guy. So, 5 wounds on the Intercessors.
AP.
You don't care. It's all AP1.
Saving on a 3 up.
Yep, 3 ups.
Take 1.
All right, so the guy on 1 wound drops. Drops dead. Now the assault cannon hitting you on 3s.
Brother Sikar.
Brother Shigurin. We get 2 more wounds. AP, you don't care.
2 more.
2 more, yes, please.
3 up. Save them both.
Nice. That's it for shooting phase. Moving into the charge phase. We're going in there.
Okay.
We're in.
Okay.
With the big 9. We're going to put him right there.
Ooh, you sneaky.
Why I so sneaky? Because I have the big sneaky. So, we're going to spend my 1 command point for what's it called? Fury of the Gorgon or Wrath of the Gorgon. Essentially +1 to hit on the Dreadnought. So he'll be hitting you on 2s. Well, it paid off. I got 2 hits out of it. And now wounding you on 2s. That's 4 wounds at AP 4. So you get your Storm Shield. And each one does 3 damage flat. So I just need to ask you to fail 2 of them, please.
Saving on 4, so I save 3.
He saves 3, everyone.
I take 1.
He
How much
only
damage?
takes 3 damage. Which I believe he has, what, 2 wounds remaining?
You are correct.
Yes. So, that's it for the Dreadnought. We are in danger. The Dreadnought is in definite danger.
So 4 attacks. Mm-hmm. Hitting you on 2 ups.
Yep. Wounding me on
And those all hit.
4s. You get extra attack because Shock Assault still goes off.
That hits
Hey!
you. Wounding you on 4s.
Yeah, absolutely. 3s. 5s.
3s. Oh, nothing. 3s?
5s.
5s.
5s. 5s. Sorry, I had a small stroke there.
Nothing.
The Dreadnought. Too tough. That's it for my turn 4. Over to Era. Gets a command point in his command phase. He will get 10 points as he holds 2 objectives, but not more than me. I believe that's it for the command phase. Is there,
That's about it.
is
Nothing.
there any kind of cool movement you want to do?
Oh, this is tricky.
So, quick tip for you: at the end of turn, or at the end of the last turn, for the player who went second, you'll score your primary objectives at the end of the turn
Oh, okay.
to give you that, to kind of offset that first turn advantage. So if you were able to get on 1, 2, 3, you'd get 15 points, as opposed to, oh, I only got whatever. So he's still in the game. I think he's in it for a draw right now.
Move 6.
5 points back. So if I can hold a couple of objectives here,
6.
I think I'll be okay.
So assault means I can advance and shoot, right?
Yes, that is correct.
So I move 6.
But you won't be able to charge after you advance.
Oh, no, you're right.
Yeah, so that is another important thing to keep in mind.
Okay, I'm going to YOLO this.
You're going to YOLO? You're
Yeah.
going to yeetus deletus?
So do I have to count for moving above or over the...
Yeah, just add an inch. That's what I did for my charge.
So I can only move 5 then.
Yeah.
So I'll move him there,
Yep.
which puts me at a range of
Be a 9-inch charge there.
a 9-inch charge, but
Yeah.
I'm just looking for my weapon damage.
Oh, yeah, you'd totally be able to flame them.
So he's going to shoot that unit.
Mm-hmm.
They're just going to sneak up here to hide behind that.
Yep.
Actually, they're there. They're going to go right there.
Oh, they're going to try and shoot that guy?
Yep.
Well, you're going to have to get past my 2-up armor save first. Famous last words. Very famous. Super famous last words. I'm not picking on a newbie, Ian.
Okay, so that's my movement.
I am merely instructing him the game.
I'm going to
So,
shoot with Dracus there,
yeah, you're going to flame up these boys.
and I'm going to shoot over here with these 2 guys.
All right. What do you want to do first? Oh, and don't forget the pistol can be shot into combat here.
Oh, the Volkite pistol can
Yep.
shot too. Okay. Let's start with Adrax Agatone.
All right.
So he gets 4 shots.
Mm-hmm.
No, sorry, D6.
D6 shots.
2
Gets
shots.
2. Oh, rough 2.
Yeah, okay, whatever. I'll take that. It's more important to make that charge.
To the guy up top.
No, to the units here.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, because that could be dangerous for me.
So 2 shots hitting you on 2s. So both hit.
Wounding
Wounding
on
Oh, sorry,
fours.
wounding you on 4s.
Yeah, so that looked
Sorry,
like
forgot.
2 4s right there.
Yeah, it is.
Minus
sorry, I
1.
just with the flamers, I tend to forget like
Yeah,
that they automatically hit.
yeah, flamers are one of those ones that they're a bit harder to get used to, but you do get used to them. So 2 with minus 1. I do drop 1. He does take a wound. Whoa, there we go. So we'll throw it on. Well, they're not going to get shot at this turn, so we'll throw it on this guy up front.
Okay. Volkite pistol into your dreadnought.
Yep. So you'll be hitting me on 2s based off the profile, and then wounding me on 5s.
That's
And then
one shot.
these would be at minus 1. So strength 5, AP 1, 2 damage. Which
Okay.
is
Hitting you on 2s.
drops 1, but he still gets 1. Ladies and gentlemen, it's still dangerous.
2.
He doesn't make it.
I'll
Sad.
re-roll that because I'm a
Oh, yes.
I'm a
absolutely.
salamander.
Roll it up.
4.
That doesn't wound me.
That's fine. I'll save it for the sword. And
Hell
these
yeah.
guys. So the flamer, I think has range
Yeah.
because it's range 12.
Let's just pull out the old measure tape here. 12 inches. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So it's D6 shots.
By the hair of my skin.
2 shots.
Oof.
So
Wounding me on 5s because I believe you're still strength 3.
yep.
And his super doctrine only happens in tactical doctrine. So only 1.
So 1 goes through.
Saves it on a 3.
Bolt rifle.
He
3 shots.
would still get cover. So
Yeah.
that's where he's somehow ignoring that AP1 because he does go up to a 2. There.
So hitting you on a 4 because you're behind the cover.
No, because I'm not really behind any kind of like barricade like that. So you'd be hitting me on a 3 there.
Okay. So 2. And then wounding you because it's a
It's strength 4, toughness 4. So 4s. That
2 4s.
That looks like 2. That's enough to do it. Can he do it? The cover saves me.
Boo.
The bits of rock save my life. Ooh, this is big. This is big.
Into charges.
Into charges. So he's doing the big 9-inch charge here. Can he do it? That's
8.
an 8. He will have to re-roll the entire thing because this ain't 8th
There goes
edition no more,
My
ladies and
last
gentlemen.
command point.
Last command point. Does he do it? That's an 8.
That's an 8. Boo.
Oh, so close.
So short both times.
Like Icarus, you flew too close to the sun. So, sadly, and I've got some bad news for you. The Dreadnought goes first
Why is that?
because those are the rules.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, with ongoing combats,
I have a shield. I'm okay.
yeah, chances are he'll live because my dice rolling has been obnoxiously bad in certain circumstances. But I'm hitting you on 3s. I've got 5 attacks. I'll be wounding you on 2s. Hit it. I hit you all the times. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
That's good.
Ian, I'm actually beating up on a newbie. That's 5 wounds. You can roll them 1 at a time and be obnoxious. You should roll them 1 at a time.
4 up invul save.
4 up invul. Oh, there
I'll
goes
save
the lieutenant.
2, 3. I'll take 2.
So
That's him dead.
that's 6 damage. Big Red coming in hot.
Okay. And that's all I got.
That's all he's got.
Next turn.
I will cash in on the big 15 points. There's not much to do in the command phase aside from get a command point, so we'll go right into the next part. And the Dreadnought only knows blood. I'll make that back an inch. This way we're actually playing legally here. Yeah, that's all I'm going to do for movement. These guys are going to try and shoot Captain Agrax Agatone, see if he bleeds.
Worth it the game because you skipped your cupcake phase.
Oh, that's fair enough. I concede. Good work. What happened back there?
Speakers jumped off.
Oh, speakers committed the honorable seppuku. So, moving on. Psychic phase. Psychic phase is over. I've been waiting all day to say that. All right. So, shooting. We're going to try and burn those flame guys. So, we get 3 shots. We get 2 wounds. AP, you don't care. And then the assault cannon will miss famously.
So how many shots with the
It was 2 wounds with the flamer, so it's just
3 up?
yeah.
I hit take them both.
And then the assault cannon gets 1 wound.
So that's 2 wounds for the flamer.
Yep.
And then the assault cannon.
Yeah, it's just one more 3-up save.
I take it.
Oh, this is going bad. This is going bad.
Brother Kendar.
Brother Kendar, no. You've left Brother Darkness alone.
Brother Dakir.
Darkness. Because, yes, I doubled down on my mistakes. The sniper into the captain hits on a 3. Wounds on a 6, so that'll be a mortal wound plus the damage. So that'll be at AP2, 2 damage. If he fails it, 3 damage in total. If he succeeds, still only 1. I believe he's got an Iron Halo for a 4-up invulnerable.
So how many hits first?
Just 1.
4 up.
Oof.
Take it.
Takes the 2 damage from the sniper rifle.
I take 1 damage
Oh, you reduce damage?
because I have the Iridian Drakehide cloak.
Oh, okay. So you'd still take 2. 1 from the shot and 1 from the mortal wound.
Okay.
Because you can't really reduce mortal wounds, sadly, in this
Okay, I'll
game.
take 2.
So next squad, these guys will try and plug him down because I know he's coming out for blood. He's now just pissed.
Heck yeah.
So the crack grenade will hit. The crack grenade will wound on a 3. It's AP 1, so you don't care. So it's still your 2-up armor save.
I take it.
And D3 damage. It's only 1. Only 1 damage.
Puts him up to 3.
So now the assault cannons, or the auto cannons, can we can them? Can we get them? Bunch of dice. We miss very little. Now looking for 4 to wound him. We get a grand total of 5. 5 wounds on him. AP nothing, because he doesn't care about that AP 1.
Save them all.
He's too tough. We've made him mad. Now, onto the charge phase. The Dreadnought will charge here. Dreadnought makes it. Would you like to get off my property now or later? We got 6 attacks and 1 command point. It's dark and we're wearing sunglasses. We missed twice. This is all at AP 4. That's 4 wounds, AP 4.
Can't save.
Nope. Hammerman, get off my land. So that's the end of my turn. Now we go to Ara's. Ara, sorry.
I'm going to move.
Ara will probably take my backfield. He's out for blood. He's got a command point, and he's got all the motivation he needs.
He scores his victory point.
Yes, that is correct. So all he needs to do is wipe out that squad, and then he's looking fancy.
I get to move 1 more inch.
He is extra mad.
Okay, let's open up with Dracus.
Yep,
So I got my 1 command point, right?
yep, you got your 1 command point.
So open up with Dracus. 6.
Oh, the big 6 shots from the assault flamer gun.
That's going to be
6
6
hits.
wounds.
So 6 hits, and how many wound on 4s, I believe?
Strength 4 to your...
Toughness 4.
So it's on 4s.
Yep.
So it's going to be 2 get through.
And don't forget your reroll.
Oh yeah, I get to reroll 1. 3.
Hey, 3.
AP 1.
AP 1. Looking for 4s for armor saves. I fail all 3. And yeah, I lose a guy and another one. So there's only 3. He could very realistically do this. Now the charge phase. Oh, he's in with gusto.
9.
He is super mad. We have underestimated his anger. He has appeared behind these valiant soldiers. He will swing first.
So 5 attacks plus 1 because I charged.
Yep, so 6 attacks.
And these are going to be hitting you on 2s. 3s.
Yeah, hitting me on 3s.
Because the hammer is heavy.
Yep, the hammer is heavy.
So that's 1 miss.
Yep, that's 1 miss. That's 5. Now wounding me on 2s.
Yeah, because strength is 8.
Yep. I believe he gets a +1 to wound anyhow.
You get to reroll that.
And he gets 1 reroll because he's Salamanders. And that's 5 at AP a billion.
5 at AP 3.
AP 3, AP 4, because it's Assault Doctrine. So, 4 damage apiece, right?
Yep.
So the first one just dies. I rolled 2 6s out of the 4. The next one dies. And the last one, oh, they're gone. They are out of here. And I believe that's it for the game. Era scores 5 more points for primary, bringing him up to a very cool 25, I believe, to my 40. So, we are now at the end game. Ara, I'm so sorry. I'm so bad. That was our boy here, his very first game of 40k. What did you think?
Pretty awesome. I think that a new player should definitely come in with like a cheat sheet.
Oh, 100%.
So especially like because the Space Marines seem like to have an unending list of abilities, like their stratagems, plus their chapter abilities, plus like all the things the Space Marines can do, like Angels of Death and so forth. The thing that I have a hard time wrapping my head around is the wounding. So the whole thing with toughness versus strength.
Oh, yeah.
So like a lot of like I've seen a lot of veteran players can very easily do the math in their head of like, okay, you're at this strength, I'm at this toughness, you're wounding me on this.
Yeah.
I would very much like to have that like that chart hanging somewhere.
Oh, like the old to wound or strength, toughness, and the to wound roll.
If your strength is this and your post toughness is this is what the save is, right?
Yeah, like the old chart
wound is,
in the older editions. Yeah, we could definitely have something like that for beginners.
Yeah, the other thing too that I find is that like coming from AOS, which is a lot more, I feel like a lot of these rules are a lot more consolidated with movement and how you kind of move your units around and who gets to charge first and so forth. For a player like me coming from AOS, who's played a lot of AOS, coming into 40k is a little bit tricky because you kind of want to move faster than what you can do, meaning that there's so much things you can do in 40k that you can't do in AOS.
Yeah.
So I think that like for a new player coming into 40k, it's good, but you have to remember that aside from like whatever your abilities are, there's a bunch of movement stuff you can do and all the phases of like who moves first and charges. So if you're going to charge, rather than thinking, okay, well, I charge this guy and he activates and I charge that guy, you don't get, it doesn't go back and forth like a tennis game of like,
No.
of like activation, activation, activation. Everyone activates first. So that can really change how you make lists.
Yeah, like the interrupt stratagem basically just changes how people operate most times. Like, you guys saw it here today when he interrupted with his blob of dudes. He killed like a very critical member of that squad because I was like, I need to save it on my Storm Shield, which in 40k hard locks you to save on that model until it dies because it's at the forefront, it's at the point of the charge, it's holding the ground for the rest of the guys behind it. So logically, it should die. But Ara played pretty damn well for his first game.
Oh, thanks.
I mean, it's a big game. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's a lot more cerebral than a lot of people would like to think.
Yeah.
But
It's not impossible for a new player. I think if you have like me who has AOS under their belt for the last couple years, it's just one of those things where like as I get more into this game, I want to play with people who are willing to take the time to remind, right? So
Oh, yeah.
win at all costs is like kind of not the kind of game I want to play until I get under my get my army figured out.
Oh, absolutely. Like,
And I forgot a bunch of stuff that the Salamanders can do, like
yeah,
so.
they're probably one of the deepest toolboxes as far as like armies go.
Yeah.
Especially with Space Marines. Like, they've got a stratagem for everything and all the things. So when we do eventually increase this game size to 1,500 or 2,000, like, you're going to see a lot of utility that you can just slam down stratagems here and there, and your army starts to become more fleshed out
Yeah.
and just harder for other people to deal with.
And I didn't realize that the Salamander's Codex was still legal.
Oh, the supplement?
I was under the impression that the 8th edition supplemental codexes were not legal for 9th edition.
Oh, no, that's not the case. They are still very much legal. There is a
Until
FA
the new one comes out, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Or until they're like, hey, these are stricken from match play, like they did with the Vigilist detachments.
Because if that was the case, I would have played I would have made my list differently to have more aggressors. Because aggressors with Adrax is
Oh, they're so good.
pure fun.
They're so good. Do you got an MVP?
Yeah, I think my MVP is Adrax.
Yeah,
Agatone. He did some heavy lifting.
Yeah, he killed the Primaris Librarian, and he
Yeah.
killed that squad of intercessors
The
way
other
over
thing-
there.
Other thing too is that I probably, if I would have played it again, I would have just set my dreadnought back here, and then just rained fire on people.
Yeah.
So have them stay back here and stay the objective, and then have my other troops move around the table.
Well, that's just one of those things that comes
Yeah,
with experience.
yeah.
Like, the Redemptor Dreadnought is a very good jack of all trades, especially the way you have him built out with the macroplas and the missile launcher on top.
Yeah.
Like, he's got a lot of things he can do and a lot of things he can support, and you can support him very well with your lieutenant and the captain.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be a very good like response unit. So like as I come and push up on this flank, you can respond with the Dreadnought.
Yeah.
As opposed to pushing out with it first. Because I looked at that and was like, that's the only thing that's going to hurt me for the most part.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I think, anyways. How about you? What's your
My
MVP?
MVP will always be my chaplain. Because, like, oh boy.
He reigned the pain.
I don't know if you can tell on
there's some
the
Ric Flair
camera
action.
back there, but his back's a little bent right now, and that's from carrying my entire army. So that's it for me. Thank you very much for joining us in the 40k community.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for us here at Grimfort Studios. Our stuff was brought to you today by Army Painter Studios and the Double FMN team here in Calgary. You guys just be cool and stuff, and we'll see you guys next time in the next episode.
Peace.